Hello everybody and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games and our D&D 5th edition campaign, The Benefactor. I'm here with Felicia, Rodrigo, Corinne, Nick and Kate as we continue with episode 38 of this campaign. Previously, they followed a part of Eclipse of the Moon storyline as she went for an underground temple in order to seek a clue, specifically a canopic jar, which would lead her eventually to the heart of Juradan, whatever the hell that is. They learnt a little bit more about the story of Juradan the Great, which is effectively the Genghis Khan of my world, of Illyria. And they went in and Black Ops'd a bunch of undead. It was scary. I'm going to have to try much harder to kill them all. And, by the way, yes, you are still muted, guys. Before I forget, I'm going to do an announcement that I didn't do before, or I managed to sneak it in about 10 minutes in. Feline Trickster is awesome. Previously, I showed you the commission of Merrick, a goblin wizard that has turned up here as an NPC and is going to hopefully be one of my player characters in future. And for this month's sketch, Michelle, who's Feline Trickster, has done this wonderful sketch of Anuri, who is possibly going to be my player character in the new game that I'm starting on Wednesday nights, and not on Twitch, at home. Finally, I get to be a player once a week. And there we go, if I just bring up Feline Trickster. So follow and commission at Feline Trickster. You can also find them on Patreon, which is how I get the sketch that I'm showing here. And Anuri in this case is a non-binary but also androgynous bard, due to a background of the story where everybody who is a kind of hero here has something physically altered about themselves. So I chose somebody who is biologically completely androgynous, and Michelle nailed it. So thank you again, Michelle. Anyway, what am I forgetting? Oh yes, the players. Hello, players.
Hello.
Wasn't me, I didn't do it, you can't prove it.
Yet. Remember to say Revivify for Tuck.
God, I keep forgetting he exists.
For anybody who's confused, Tuck is the mouse pet that Cora got landed with as part of her background as Urchin. So she wears a little coconut shell on her hip, and in that coconut shell is a nest, and in that nest is a tiny little mouse called Tuck. And thankfully, Cora has not been hit with fireball or anything like that yet. So yeah, she's good. The mouse is still.
What you guys don't know is that Tuck is not the same mouse every time. I just keep finding a mouse, sticking it in, and be like, Tuck, yeah.
And every time he is mentioned, my reaction is always, fuck. I forget she has the mouse.
Yes.
All I'm going to say is there's a little sign that comes up above Farewell's head that says, Farewell remembers this.
Well, if you want to see Tuck, he is in the picture that Felicia has painted, a part of the tarot card series, which you haven't featured much yet, Simon.
No, I didn't know when to actually put it in there. So I mean, I guess we could start putting them up now. If you want to go to at Yenamutu, which if you want, you'll find below because I pronounce it really badly. And that's Felicia's Twitter, and you'll be able to see the cards there. When the cards are finished, I want to have a GIF of them cycling around, and they'll be featured at some point in the stream. So
That can be fixed.
And hello to Selden Bucket, who is actually a member of the guild, the Wednesday night guild that I talked about. And so we'll be starting a campaign with him as of next week. So very much looking forward to it, but still have no idea what I'm playing. I've got a short list of about 7 characters.
Is Rattles in chat yet?
Rattles? Not yet. Not yet. You might want to poke Rattles, because, we like harassing our viewers. Anyway, I would like to start off with you. You, Rodrigo.
Me?
Yes, you. So
I didn't do it.
You did. It's canon. So, if you remember, a few weeks ago, Rodrigo wasn't able to attend one of the sessions, and I said that I would make up to him And I
Like
tried
2 of them.
writing a short story and kept thinking, nah, that's wrong. And then I said, oh, we'll get together and we'll do like a catch-up session. It can be a piece of kind of DLC that we can send to our subscribers and long-time followers. And yeah, we didn't find time for that either. So we're doing the gig here. So we're going to go back to
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
We're going to go back to session 36. And Aiden...
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is. It feels like years ago. Maybe 35, actually. And Aiden has written off with another member of his family, Hector Canelm, nicknamed the Old Wolf. And reason for that, he is a older guy, scarred as hell, and he's got these intense-looking eyes. He's got very well groomed beard and hair. He doesn't seem to be overly concerned about his appearance, but he really has he's just one of those guys where he wakes up looking put together, the git, yeah? And he's got salt and pepper hair, that goes into his beard as well. The guy's buff, broad-shouldered, and you think if he wasn't a blood hunter like you, Aiden, he would be like a barbarian or something. And you have seen him do things like turn over carts and things incredibly, incredibly strong. He came up to you with 2 horses and charged back with you to a clearing, leaving the others behind, and they carried on with their adventures without you. So, you ride for around about, I'd say about 12 hours. You ride quite some way. And part of the time that you go there, you go into the Brentwood, which, if you remember last session, Cora spoke to a member of the Green Organisation who is in the Brentwood at the moment.
Flirted with them, I shall say.
It was more of a kind of accidental flirting, because I wasn't going for it, she wasn't going for it, but it certainly got there.
Basically, Felicia used her finesse point without actually using her finesse point.
Yeah,
It's
this is
really
true.
weird.
And you get into a clearing where 2 rough-looking guys are, yeah? But you immediately peg them for who they are. You can see the dark hair, long but not too long, kind of no longer than like the chin, bedraggled hair, pale wan faces, stress lines around the eyes and around the mouth, even though they're still quite young, and these kind of murderous looks in their eyes. And you know that pretty much everybody from your home region in Vardencourt, Verstadt, looks this way. So you
They
can
all
see
keep the same hair length. Very important.
it's a common look there. They feel weird if they don't look that way. It's not a fashion. It's more just a kind of, it's just always been that way. You know this because largely they don't go for haircuts. They don't go to barbers. Verstadt is a very kind of remote and backwards country, and mostly people cut their hair by taking a longsword or a dagger, grabbing hold of a fistful of hair and kind of cutting it like this, hence the length. Yeah?
Yeah.
And you find that a lot of the women do that as well, largely because undead attacks are quite common from where you are, and they don't want something that you can grab onto, and also they want hair that you can put under a helmet. So, these 2 guys just nod at you, and kind of a redundant line, but Hector says, "The boy's with me. He's my nephew, Aiden." And the 2 guys just look at Hector as if to say, "We don't care." And he just nods to them and says, "Is it still there?" They nod. He reaches into his bag and pulls out what seems to be a kind of lead pipe and says, "Come with me."
It's like I have any choice.
You have a
Follow
choice,
him.
but you also have a duty. Come. You walk into a clearing and currently scraping at the floor with this dry rattle, this death rattle of a scream. You can see a skeleton. And it's just the noise coming from nowhere because it's a skeleton. It doesn't have any lungs. For some reason, there's just this strange death rattle that just comes out of the air when you're near it. And you aren't surprised, you aren't scared. You feel the adrenaline rush, I guess, as the hunt kind of builds up in the back of your head. But your common sense kind of overrides it. And you're there saying, it's one skeleton and it's already caught. And you can see it's got this kind of carabiner-style hook hooked through the pelvis, holding it to the ground. And the other end of the chain has this long, probably about... There's only 2 foot of it sticking out of the ground, but you think this is probably like a 4 foot long iron stake holding this thing to the ground.
I say, really? You dragged me all the way out here just to see a measly skeleton?
It's a reagent. Take a seat.
Oh.
And he shows you and he points to a log. He sits down on a similar log, which is this kind of weird, most fucked up campfire ever, because you just got this skeleton trying to claw at you, but it's several feet short of where you are. It's just trying to get to you as you're talking, and he says, look, I respect you. I don't normally like this kind of bonding bullshit, but I respect you. I was there when you returned. And, well, I knew that it wasn't for you. I knew that's not what you wanted to do, but you felt responsibility to the family. You felt that you had no choice, but you also knew that you could turn around and say fuck you at any point, and still you went through with it.
It was less duty and more like a dagger to the back. But sure, whatever, same thing.
Well, either way, just, it doesn't hurt to say that I respect what you did. You became part of the family more than ever, and I don't know. Maybe it saved your life. Who knows? Maybe it saved one of us. I don't know if you fought or how much you fought till you got knocked to the dirt, so let's see.
I don't... How the fuck are... Don't take this the wrong way. How the fuck are you still alive?
I was chasing someone down. One of the first parts of the attack was that Mireille was taken by some sort of strange harpy creature. Strange, undead, rotting, strange black fluid dripping from the eyes. It flew up, picked Mireille up by a leg and an arm, and flew down the road with her. I chased it for probably about 2 hours. It seemed to be taunting with me. Eventually I managed to get lucky with an arrow, and she dropped Mireille to the floor, then tried to attack me. And, well, my pack is back there, but if you want you can see the skull.
It's fine.
Carrying this harpy
it's fine,
skull.
I believe you.
Mireille is fine, but you know her, she was never a hunter. She was only
Right.
a member of the family, you know. She'd look after the children, tell the tales, mop up our blood when we get home, that kind of thing. So, yeah, she's safe. I've put her in a city, but we still need to know what went on.
Right.
So, I've got this reagent, and he points to the skeleton and says, we can ask some questions. This
Sure.
particular
Not
one
crystal ball.
is from that attack.
Excuse me?
I've been tracing. It's from the attack. It was around. It was being controlled. I don't think it was responsible for the attack, but all the same. First of all, we're going to need one of its bones. I need to make a wand. And he pulls out the lead pipe, walks straight up to it, puts the lead pipe to its left femur. And then you notice there's a little button on the side of the pipe. He presses it, and there's this almighty whoomph! and there's this smell of this acrid smoke everywhere, and you can see that the leg is obliterated. The femur is basically in chunks across the floor. There's metal shot that's embedded in the soil, and he throws the glowing and smoking pipe to one side. He picks up the remainder of the leg, and as he does so, the energy that holds the leg together dissipates, and the leg falls apart, and he's left leaving just one of the lower bones of the leg. Says, this'll do. And he pulls out a book. Just a red-brown book. Opens it up, flicks to a certain page, takes out what seems to be a throwing needle. You've seen posers have these things before. They're kind of like darts or ninja stars or whatever. This is a throwing needle, incredibly sharp, very, very heavy, and he starts to scrawl an etching that's in the book onto the bone. He does this for about 5 minutes, and as he does so, he says, "When we got attacked, you were still in the prime hunter phase. Just learning your abilities, learning how to combine them with a blade, learning how to be part fighter and part," he turns the bone over, "part fighter and part blessed." Though I've always hated that fucking definition. I've never felt blessed. Have you ever felt blessed?
No.
Catgut. I got some here. So there we go. Here we go. And he pulls out this dried leather strip, binds it around the bone to make a handle, and ties it off and says, "Right, this should work with, of course, the magic ingredient." And he bites his lip and then spits on it, wipes it off, and then points to the skeleton. And he says, "Stand." And the skeleton tries to get up on one leg, falls over several times, and he just looks at you, completely deadpan, and says, "Sorry, that was just for me." "Right. Sit there." And the skeleton sits down, kind of trying to go cross-legged on the floor with only one leg.
Only one leg.
And you expect him to say, "That was just for me," again, and instead he says, "Answer me the 3 questions I am required as your master." And the rattle says, "I listen and obey."
This makes me mighty uncomfortable.
First question. I am your master now. Give me the name of your previous master. "My previous master was known by power alone. No name have I been told."
Well, that's fucking convenient.
Yeah, sometimes we get lucky. Number 2. You were raised. You remember the essence. You remember the source of that essence when you were raised. Look into your mortal memories and tell me, did that person originate in Vishtat? Yes. Reside there he did, when the spell was cast that gave me this semblance of life. And yet, it kind of looks his way as if it could defy the question. And Hector just waits it out, knowing that it has to give the answer. The bones tremble slightly, and then he looks straight at the... Well, I say he looks. The skull points in Hector's direction and says, "However, he had freshly travelled there." Okay, we're getting somewhere. The person was in Vashtat when we got attacked, but had only recently arrived. Okay, we can work with that. Contact some of our allies, our networks, see if any other undead or necromancers have been displaced. If they had only just gone into Vashtat, that means they came from somewhere else, and they were gaining power quickly. Probably realised where they were and thought we were the main threat, although it was a very visible way of getting rid of us. Okay, third question, I guess. A few come to mind, but is there anything you'd like to ask, Gaiden?
Why? Just why?
The skeleton starts to tremble once more, and it seems to be resisting you. And then Hector turns and says, "Answer him. It is my will." And the skeleton shakes with this kind of wind chimes clonking of bone on bone as this, as I say, kind of strange skeleton sat down cross-legged on the floor, or cross one-legged on the floor, like a school
Spooky,
child.
scary skeletons.
And it looks straight at Aiden this time and says, "To provoke fate. I overheard the lieutenant say that taking out the Canhelms was just a fringe bonus. This was to provoke fate."
Ominous.
At which point, Hector runs straight up with his long sword and cleaves the skull neat in half. Clunk! And the skeleton drops to the floor. Well, that tells us exactly fuck all. Well, not really. Means I can look around for evidence of where they were back in Verstadt. Oddly, the place has been quite quiet since then.
That doesn't sound like it.
To
Usually
provoke
it's
fate.
always
I've never really
Yeah.
gone in for any of that divination bullshit. Never works. Well, never has for me. I like to think I can make my own. Fate. To provoke fate.
Did anyone else make it out? You're still alive. I'm
Yeah,
Still
handful.
alive.
Some of them
kind of.
ran, but I'm not going to give them any bad time for it. I mean, they would have just died anyway. Running seems oddly fitting. We've got about 8, I'd say, that were there at the battle that ran. And then there, of course,
Yeah.
were Canelms that were already further away.
Hector. Did she make it out?
Who's she?
Oh. Yes. Yes, she did.
Okay.
Using pronouns that we have to ask. It's a sin of a sin. Using pronouns we have to ask who it is.
Fuck. Okay, sorry. Got taken out of it by Curran. God damn it.
Sorry. Going.
It's okay. It's okay.
She was badly hurt, and the greater undead that harmed her has given her a curse that we cannot shift. But she's alive, and being tended to by an old friend.
That's good. Okay. All right. At least this wasn't. Okay. Thank you. Yes.
She was unconscious when she was removed from battle, so don't give her a hard time for not trying to find you. She woke up around about
It's
2 weeks
okay.
ride away from Verstadt.
It's okay. It's not exactly like I want it to be found, but whatever.
If you want to visit her at some point, that could possibly be arranged. She's with Lucia Amberglade in Meridia.
Gotcha. Okay.
The Wood Elves there have got healing magics that far surpass anything that I've seen in Vardencourt, frankly. They're somewhat isolationist, but Lucia was an old friend. They hunted together, they fought together, they fought each other for a short period of time. And she'll be okay. She'll be okay.
Okay, that's good. Although we are thinking of the same person, aren't we?
Well, who are you thinking of?
Your fucking sister.
Exactly.
Okay.
I doubt she will be
well,
able to travel.
I am so filled with conflicting emotions.
You need to carry on the duty, boy.
Dude,
If you go to
yes.
if you go to her right now, you know exactly what she'll do. She'll ask why the fuck you aren't here. You're here. You're strong. And you're ready for the rest of your training. But you're going to have to train yourself. The blood talks.
Fuck the blood. Um,
I'm handling other important matters right now. I got double amnesia, and I'm trying to get to figure out that second amnesia. Plus, I'm pretty sure there's people that's wondering where the fuck I am.
Well, I wanted you to be here for this, but also I was told by an old friend, a deceased old friend, that you would have an important dream tonight, as long as you came here and did this. So I would say, get to bed early. I should imagine you're going to be tossing and turning for part of it.
Oh joy!
In the meantime, here's some gifts. He pulls out a second version of the lead pipe. He shows it to you. And this lead pipe, it costs 10 gold worth of alchemical reagents to refill. But once you've refilled it, it does a set of checks which we'll do when we use it, and it's largely used for dismembering people.
Fucking hell.
So, Hector points out that sometimes you have to keep an undead alive to do things like what he's just done. And he acknowledges that in order to do that sometimes you have to get rid of a few limbs because they get in the way. This, as I say, it takes 10 gold to recharge, and it takes the best part of a long rest to reload. But when you go up to somebody, close combat, yeah, so it's a melee firearm,
Yeah, nice, it's a shotgun.
press it against an appendage and press the button. As long as you get enough of a score, it removes the limb on a medium-sized creature. Okay? You can try it against larger creatures, but you'd have to roll pretty damn well to remove that limb.
I can't imagine.
Firing it anywhere other than directly close to the skin, it's a very, very inefficient blunderbuss, and instead we'll just do 3d4 damage. 5
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Which for 10 gold is the shittest weapon ever. Single charge, takes a long rest to recharge. But this thing, if you find an undead that you want to interview, or fuck it, an undead that you want to interview, and they have a penchant for running, you can kneecap them with this lead pipe full of gunpowder.
I am keeping this thing to myself and myself only.
Sure, okay. I did tell you that the last session that there was something heavy in your pack that you're not revealing. It's a lead pipe full of gunpowder and shrapnel.
Yeah, don't... no, don't want... It's not even that powerful, still don't want these on the wrong hands.
He gives you another 2 items. The first is
Whose
a...
hands are the wrong hands?
He gives you a book. It's the red-brown book that he used. You noticed he has a second one that's a little more beaten up on top of his pack. And he hands you the new one, and he explains to you that when he returned to the Canelma State, he picked up a few copies of this and burnt the rest. So he has pretty much all the essential parts of the Canelm library, and anything else he didn't want getting in the wrong hands, he burned.
What are you doing?
Oh, trouble. Meow.
Good evening,
I
Trouble.
love him.
He's talking to us. He's talking to
Cat
us.
time.
He has something very important to say.
Yes.
So, that's the first thing that he hands you. This is a ritual book. It's effectively hedge magic. It's kind of like witch hedge magic. And it's things that you can use undead parts for, or dead parts for. It's how to use corpses to cast minor magic. The skull thing that I told you about before, of putting a ruby in each of the eye sockets of the skull that you have to detect curses. That was from there. You could have made some sort of stink bomb from the ghasts as well, but chose not to. Probably a good call. And there are other things in there, and I'm not going to list them all off to you. Basically, you can do an intelligence roll and like a harvesting roll whenever you come up against any undead or interesting corpse. So regular corpses of regular creatures, there's not a huge amount that you can do. But there is something that you can do with exotic corpses. So corpses that are not from this plane, and undead in particular. That's where it focuses on. So demons, fiends, abominations, what's the other one? Monstrosities, and undead. For the most part.
Aberrations, I think, are a thing too.
Aberrations, yeah. Aberrations as well. So any of those things, there is something that is kind of tied to them. And whenever I make an encounter, I'm kind of like, oh, what if he harvests this? What if he harvests that? So I've normally thought something up ahead of time, but I've also got some generic ones that I can throw in if I crap out at the last minute. So,
Okay.
he gives you the book, says, look, I know it's weird and hinky and you never know really what you're getting half the time, but try to study the glyphs, yeah? They give you enough. And he goes, oh, that reminds me. He puts the bone wand in the floor, unties the cat gut, and just as the cat gut finishes touching the bone kind of very violently not explodes, but sets alight. It becomes ash within seconds, like it's an inefficient firework.
Neat, I guess.
He wraps up the cat gut and puts it back into a pouch and says, finally, here. And he tosses you a horseshoe.
Really? Didn't take it for the superstitious type?
Well, you'll need it to get back. So that's that part. Next part is you go to sleep that night and you get a moment of a dream that you have no doubt that this was the dream that was foretold. And standing in a library of sorts, behind a desk, is a man writing on a piece of paper. He is pale, but has vibrant eyes, and he's got his hair swept back in what you think is a ponytail that goes down his back, but you can't tell. He's wearing slightly upper class clothing, and as you kind of see him, as you appear in this room, he stops, puts the quill down, and you can tell it's like an old-fashioned quill set that he's using. Pens are used in Ostergold, although a lot of people use quills because they're cheap. And he says,
Well,
young blood hunter, welcome. How are you?
tired, kind of grumpy, don't really want to be here.
Ah, the Canelm traits. Fantastic.
Of course.
I was hoping I was getting someone from the family. So, how does it work? Well, I hope.
What does what work?
The blood. The power.
It's terrible and I hate it.
You realize that the word blood is not really an accurate description. It's not as if you have vampire blood going through your veins or anything like that. It's just a form of poetry that's been adopted by your family over the generations. These are just supernatural abilities bestowed on you because you took part in a ritual and made a promise, a pact, to hunt my kind down.
Shit.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry,
shit.
that was out of character.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Okay. All right.
And as he does that, he picks up a wine glass, and takes a slow, steady drink of not wine.
That's not why. That's not why.
Oh.
How
Oh.
wonderfully perverse is it that I currently am probably one of your best allies? Oh, to laugh. To speak, in fact. I haven't spoken to anybody in a very long time. So, I am an ally of the Canelms for my sins, literally for my sins. I think that one of my brethren, and I don't mean vampire, although they could be, a member of the previously alive, the indifferently mortal, is fucking with your world. And I have no idea why. Do you know how much this irks me? A scholar of my renown, not knowing what's going on with my own fucking kind.
That makes two of us. As much as I hate saying that.
Well, sorry, allergies are fucking killing me right now. Hang on.
No, that's okay. That was me yesterday. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
I am a scholar. For a while, I
Exactly.
was a marauder, a gorger of blood and of life. A serial killer, connoisseur of torture, the usual branding. But now, I remain Marcus. Marcus Pride. And I enjoy the other benefits of being indifferently mortal. I worked alongside many people, your mother being one of them. Betraying my kind, divulging their secrets, making sure that they were manageable, because the undead final solution is no solution at all for us. If Orcus, big lumbering brute that he is, was to come into this world, what blood would be there? Just spilled on the floor and wasted, not savoured, not garnished. Idiot. But what can we expect from a demon but chaos? He probably couldn't even spell the word infrastructure. I, for one, believe in a more civilized apocalypse. And seeing as it's not going to present itself anytime soon, I need to work towards avoiding the less civilized ones. It's kind of a non-aggression pact, I guess. Tit for tat. I've got some tat. What have you got? So, the woman, Renata Green, tell me about her. We haven't got much time. I can't maintain this link for long. Has
She's
she asked
mysterious,
anything
and I know. She's mysterious, and I know fuck all about her.
Ah, a woman after my own heart. Has she tried to delve into your powers, your being? Has she asked you questions about the source of your power, the ritual that gives the Canelms their great strength, their connection with the hunt?
Now that I know of, no. She barely fucking talks to me.
Ah. Oh dear. Which means that she's getting her information through more subtle means. I was hoping she was a bit of a brash and boorish character. It sounds like she's got a brain between her ears, which, don't get me wrong, would be fantastic when I cut her throat, but... okay.
Why are we planning to kill Renata?
I have no idea what she's planning at the moment, but I have been contacted by several of my agents. And they say that you're on the right track, except they don't know what that track is. You're heading towards something that is connected with Ostergald. And somehow she's involved. I don't know if she's investigating it, preventing it, the source of it. Who knows? All I know is I would be most grateful and willing to give a favour of whatever format we both find agreeable, if you can make sure that whatever it is there, that it doesn't end up in her hands. By all means, tell her what went on, but just make sure it gets destroyed. Can you do that for me, Aiden?
No.
Fair enough. I just thought I would lay it out there. I need to offer a moment of, well, let's call it faith, the tit for tat I talked about before. You're going to find something. I don't know what it is, but if it's something that's got this level of guarding around it, it's probably something very powerful and will change the sway of power in Vardencourt. This is not something that benefits me greatly at all. Probably doesn't benefit anyone. Well, it'll benefit one person. That's kind of the fucking point, isn't it? I'm going to bestow you with a single cast of the spell Fireball of the 6th circle.
What?
Hello?
Simply access your blood, point your sword in the direction of the thing that eyes you, and let it rip. It should fuck up any papers, any idols, or whatever the hell you're going to discover. And if there's any creatures that's in there as well, it should finish off most of those. But I'm sure you can do that with your abilities, otherwise I'm contacting the wrong fucking person, aren't I? There you go. Use it as you will. If you're not going to destroy it for me, maybe I can just give you the means to destroy it of your own volition. Find whatever it is that's powerful, whatever will take the sway, whatever will get people starting endless trouble, and from the sounds of that pink goo that you found in Ostergald, yes, it's in the papers. Something has already started. Throw the spanner in the wheels. Pride out. And he turns away, and as he does so, the dream ends. So,
Question, very quickly.
mm-hmm.
When I wake up, take out the book. Does the book have like the Canelm coat of arms or something on it?
Yes, it does. It's on the
Okay.
inside page.
I throw it to the ground as hard as I can, and I start stomping on it.
Sure. And then presumably
And-
before you leave, pick it back up again.
Yeah, just
Just aggression taking out.
So it's quite a beat up book now, but it still has all of the things that will help you.
Yes.
Also, I'm frozen, so I'm gonna restart my camera.
right.
Okay. We're gonna go. Yeah. Oh, you're doing it that way. Good. So, you get up the next morning because we want to get into the main session with everybody else. You get up the next
Yes,
morning.
sorry.
You pack the bat. No, don't apologize. This is me doing this. You pick up. You pick up the.
I'm gonna get my drink.
You pick up the limb severer. You pick up the book. You feel this strange little kind of nagging thing in the back of your head. You know, like having a song lyric stuck in your head over and over again?
Yeah.
That's Fireball. So you can cast
boy.
Fireball at level 6 once. This is something that Marcus Pride has just dropped into your noggin. It's like reading a scroll, but the scroll's in your head.
Okay.
And finally, you pick up the horseshoe. Hector is kind of whittling away at something. It's a stake. And he goes, "The dream is for you, lad. I get my own." And he is knotting a nasty looking spike on the end of this particular piece of kind of almost petrified wood. You can see as he's chipping it off, it doesn't act like freshly cut wood at all. And he says, "Throw the horseshoe."
Do it.
The horseshoe suddenly explodes into black smoke, and standing there is a beautiful stallion with a black saddle. And as you walk up to it, you notice that there's the Canelm coat of arms, and there's a set of initials underneath. The second one is K. The first letter you already know. It's not your name, it's your mother's. This is your mother's horse. You jump onto the back of this thing, and the horse, you know that the horse is undead, but its flesh is not zombie flesh. It doesn't smell bad. It has no heartbeat. It doesn't breathe. It cannot get tired. It could run all night if it needed to. And you jump on it, and immediately this horse just obeys your every move. You can ride a horse anyway, but most horses have a character. This one's character, if you were to describe it, is compliant. It complies with you 100%.
Hector,
Yes, lad?
don't take this the wrong way. Not at all, but I never want to see you again.
They'll be writing that on my fucking tombstone. Take care, lad. And hunt well.
Sure.
And you charge off down the road.
Simon,
Mm-hmm.
question. Can I retcon a very short scene before we pick up where we left off last session?
Yeah, sure.
It's already when we're at the temple, and I want to have a scene with farewell before we
Yeah.
go to sleep.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yep. So this
Right.
is after Jerome, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yep, let's do that. So actually, that means we're just timing in to just before the long rest. So go for it.
Yeah, this is literally just before we go to sleep, and so just before we go to sleep, I go to farewell, and I'm like, okay, I think I know you well enough to know that you love lore, rituals, that kind of stupid nonsense. Is that
I
correct?
like lore too.
You're asleep. Fuck off.
Oh, yeah, I like stories. I like learning. Why? What's brought this on?
I reach into my pack and I hand him the book.
Yeah, sure. He hands you a book of gibberish.
I don't think I can read this.
Just keep it away from me, please.
No, Aiden, there are things I should have, and there's things I should know, and then there are things that I shouldn't have. And this, and I hold the book up, seems like something you should have.
Just having this thing around is making me fucking sick.
You know I'm gonna ask why.
It's a long story, I'll tell you another time. And I will
Just-
tell you another
I know
time.
you will.
I'm
Just
making
give me something that helps me feel like I'm not holding a bomb. Or the D&D equivalent thereof.
of a bomb.
Evil book that changes your alignment. I have run into those before.
Yes. I tell him. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can. There's something in that book that can help you make some sort of bomb. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's because it reminds me of my family, and I want nothing to do with them. Not anymore.
I'm sorry.
We can draw over the marking in crayons.
I wish you could think of your family like I do of mine. I'm sorry, my friend. But,
It's okay. And I promise you I will tell you everything. Not right now, because I am dead fucking tired.
Okay.
Good night, mate.
Go get some sleep. Good night.
Okay.
And
Are
I
we
immediately
moving
fell
forward
on
to
that staring at
the
a book.
undead attack now?
What's that? Sorry.
Are we speeding forward to the undead attack now?
What undead attack?
Well, Aiden scaring the fuck out of all of us and waking us up, because that's how we ended last time.
I can't remember. Because I was so tired.
Yeah, Aiden had his dream, and then he woke us up because he went into. He had that weird dream with the crow thingy that was undead and flew
we all
up.
had to leave.
Was gonna find us.
Yep.
Oh,
And
yes.
he thought that the undead were attacking. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. I'm not going to waste your time. You get up and you walk around and you check for this undead attack. And Aiden, if you remember, you were there saying, we need to leave. We need to leave now. There's nothing
Yes.
here currently.
There's nothing here, Aiden. Are you sure there's something attacking
It's
us?
fucking coming, though.
Well,
It's
I can
on
hide
its
the
way
entrance.
right now.
I can block the entrance. I can
Well, if
manipulate some stone and just cover the entrance off.
Oh, we could test that flying carpet theory and just get the hell away from here.
the getting
How
the
many
rest
people
is
can
also
fit in it?
This thing is
Everyone.
gigantic. This is like
Okay.
a carpet out of a palace. It's was it 9 foot by 6 foot or 10 foot by 6 foot? It's
10
something.
10 by
foot by
6.
something.
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
gigantic carpet.
Yeah.
What boy shit.
Yes.
We can
I
easily fit all 5 of us on it.
I say we hide the entrance and then bed
What's
down, and
coming?
that's a good point.
I mean, we could block ourselves in, but for how long? Like, what exactly is on its way?
The,
Does
do
it
you,
know-
I'd rather not sit in a crypt, slowly wasting away once our rations run out.
Oh no. I mean, it literally would be like a wall, and then I just make the wall go away. It's fine. It's really.
Aiden, are you sure they're not gonna know our location regardless of where we go? If they already know where we are.
Okay, let me make this clear. And I point to the Deathlock. Do you see that guy?
Yes.
Okay, his boss is sending his pet after us.
To this
Right.
location.
Ooh.
To this location.
That should be
or to
fun.
us?
I'm
What did you say,
pretty
Cora?
sure.
What did you
To
say,
this
Cora?
cave or to us, though? If it's to this cave, we just leave the cave. If it's to us, well, we're gonna be fighting something no matter
I'm
what.
not sure. Simon, right? That in the dream that I had, it was just in our general direction, but I didn't know it was up to us or to the cave, right?
Yeah, he's sending the Shrike, as you identified it, which is a form of undead bird, which is used as a very powerful familiar for greater undead. He's sending the Shrike to you as a group. He didn't specify to go to the temple or whatever, just to go and track you.
He is sending it to us.
Then
Okay,
leaving
so
doesn't
running
matter,
away
does
might
it?
not. So running away won't necessarily.
Also, sorry, Kate, you're kind of low on my end. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
me
you're
or-
really low.
Sorry, I've got a different setup at the moment.
That's
It's
Is that
okay.
better?
Yeah.
Yeah, better.
A lot better.
So that's
It's weird because I'm hearing myself back, which I never usually. So I said that like if it's coming to us, leaving doesn't matter. We might but there's no point in staying here. We might as well just keep going. What does this thing look like? We'll just keep our eyes open.
It's big fuck off on dead bird. That's as much detail as I can spare.
Okay. Well, we
Okay.
nuke it when it arrives.
So
I guess to
Yes,
clarify the image that you saw, the bird is crow-like, but roughly the size of a small to medium eagle.
Okay. Okay, then get rid of the big fuck off, and that's basically my description.
Well, most undead aren't resistant to acid, so I'm sure we'll be fine.
But yes, has everybody had enough rest? I'm pretty sure if we can get this carpet running, some people can sleep on the carpet. But you know.
Mm,
Oh, that's
pretty
right.
fine.
I hadn't slept properly, had I?
No,
Sorry.
yeah.
No. Sorry.
No, it's
So-
okay. It's fine. I don't mind. It's fun.
So, Cara, you might
It's
be able to sleep on. So if we can get carpet up and running, you might be able to sleep on the carpet.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Cool.
Or your common sense says that once you meet up with your coach driver, you can sleep in the coach.
Yes.
That too. But carpets.
Okay, let's go. I'm
carpet.
starting to walk out towards the
Well-
opposite.
The carpet, I guess, will be faster than running to the coach.
Yeah.
Sure, as long as we get out of here, I guess.
Besides, if we're up in the air, it'll be harder for them to ambush us.
Okay.
I mean, it's a bird.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a
But we
moment
got-
to call out Chopper. I'm hoping he's still in the chat. Yeah. Chopper's 78. If you're not on our Discord, please join our Discord with the link that you'll see below to be added to the subscriber room, where I give subscribers from time to time little fork in the road control over the game. And that's mostly what shall I send, and I have like a vote of which kind of beastie to feature in an encounter or whatever. So please join us on Discord if you haven't already. Right, so you guys are going to try and activate the carpet.
Yes.
Outside the door, right? It's a big.
Yes.
It's a
thing.
big
Yes.
carpet.
I hope so.
So Paul Farewell picks up the carpet and lugs it outside as he's laden like a fucking pack mule.
Yes.
Okay.
We love you, Farewell. You're the
love you,
best.
Farewell.
Yes.
You're outside with a big carpet. What are you doing?
I unroll it.
Lovely.
Yep, you've unrolled the carpet.
So,
This is beyond me.
I've
Magical
never
words,
used a
okay.
flying carpet, but you mentioned it had the capture
Fly.
in it, right, Eclipse?
Yes.
Maybe
Yep.
I would assume if they've included that, maybe it's locked to only allow your people to use it. So I think you all have to take the reins.
From what I
That
know,
scares me.
from what I know, we need to find the magic word for it. So everybody, thinking hats on.
Pride.
Fly.
Jordan.
The second that Cora says pride, the carpet levitates about 1.5 feet off the floor.
Hey!
Oh, I guess we did it.
Well done.
Although I just realised that the pride was never mentioned in game. So.
Yep.
Oops.
Oops.
Cool.
No, it was.
Well, we
Well,
kind of knew
arrogant.
his name was Pride. We didn't yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she named him
Kinda.
as something slightly different, but
She
maybe
named him Arrogant,
maybe
but-
Cora had been thinking, well, he was a lion, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both pride or arrogance would have worked to get this thing going. And yeah.
That would be my second guess. Yes, on the carpet, guys. I can show you the world.
So,
Is that
who's going to try and
Is that-
drive? Let's do this
Naruto?
properly. Who's going to drive?
I like nudge Farrell like, should we try and place Aiden next to Eclipse? I mean,
I can and
This
will
is
throw
prime
you off the
opportunity.
fucking carpet, I swear.
any other time I'd be all over this, but he is very tetchy right now, and we need to run. I am 100% on board. We will keep that for later, but let's flee.
I will take the reins because it's technically my carpet.
I think you'll find that it's A, the group's carpet, and B, if it's anybody's, it's mine. I've been carrying it for the last hour and a half.
no, here's the
Cora
point.
is already lying right in the middle, just like arms back, just like.
You know, it's really
Well, then.
useful that you're like 3 foot nothing, because you really do not take up any space
No.
whatsoever.
I need to see out of this scene so badly.
Well then,
Okay,
I
so
pull shotgun and I sit down next to Eclipse in the front.
okay,
I'll sit in the
Eclipse,
back.
go. Fly a carpet.
Yes.
Like, pride!
Mush.
Carpet does
On
nothing.
Prancer, on Dancer, on Vixen.
The carpet does nothing.
What?
Up,
Is
maybe?
there
Up?
Naru for move? Do you
Yes.
Try move in the Naru dialect, because it's not a language test in Naru.
Nope. Doesn't do anything.
Up?
Pride?
You say pride, and there's this little popping sensation in the back of your head, and you feel more connected with the carpet than you were before. Cora, your little popping
S-link
sensation
up.
in the back of your head means that you've lost control of the carpet.
Oh.
Okay, I tried to will it up now. Doesn't work now.
It goes upwards.
Oh my god.
Wait, along, not up.
We've just gone, rather than like forward anywhere, we've literally just gone up 30 feet. Straight up.
Yeah.
Yep. You've. I think that's its movement speed with the level of people on it. So yeah, you're now
Yeah.
30 foot up in the air.
And
Okay, can we
forward.
fucking get moving?
Forward.
I'm
starts
scanning
moving
the sky for the bird while I lie there.
Sure.
Athena's is flying beside us, and she's keeping lookout as well.
Okay.
I assume.
I'm not going to even bother getting you to roll. You don't see the bird. You see birds, and you pretty much crap yourself every time one of the birds seems to be coming towards you. None of them
Do
are
I-
that bird.
Can I see it or sense it?
Not currently, no. Eclipse, as you're
How are-
moving the carpet forward, you realise that you don't have to keep saying forward, forward, left a bit, forward, and you just have to think about where you want to go, and it starts doing it.
Yes.
But that gives me the hilarious mental image of like a carpet basically going like this
Yeah.
Yeah.
because Eclipse is
Forward.
going forward,
Forwards.
forward.
Forward. Forward.
Yeah. Oddly, it moves perfectly every 6 seconds. I don't know why. So you start flying it, presumably towards your rendezvous.
Next-
Carriage. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you watch a kind of completely stunned Stuart with his mouth open, his sandwich in his hand, as you're flying towards the carriage in this flying carpet.
Yes. And I direct us down towards him.
Sure.
Hi, Stuart!
Uh,
Look at us!
Miss Glory, and he kind of tips his hat. Hey. Okay, so
we found the carpet.
it.
Yes.
I can see. I can. Only in the green organisation. Okay.
Poor guy.
Are any of you going to continue on the
Question.
carpet, or are you going to put it on the top of the carriage?
Do you want a romantic carpet ride with me, Rodrigo?
No.
You can keep better lookout for the bird up there.
And
Simon,
you don't have to be in the same room as Glory.
Yes.
Oh, selling
Simon.
it now. Yes, Roddy.
you are, but in all seriousness, I cannot see it. I cannot sense it. How are my eyes? I'm still in the hunt because you described at the end of the last session that I kind of started going to the hunt because of this. But now,
Your eyes have kind of relaxed a little bit, largely because of the connection that you had during your dream state. You kind of started going into the hunt. There's no sign of the hunt on you at the moment.
fuck. I'll go inside the carriage. I don't care.
Okay. So you're going to be traveling for a while, and you're going to be taking 2 long rests whilst you're traveling, as you go down this southern road into the towards location X. If you remember, I've brought up on screen here. It's kind of the southeast direction. Little red line that's put here. Where's it? Target. So you've come back across the little red detour. You've met back up with Stuart, and you're starting to go down now towards location X, which is this red dot here. Okay.
Yes.
You have 2 long rests.
That's-
If you guys want to have any interpersonal chats, character chats about any of the shit that's just gone on, this is your chance.
Okay. I just
Yes.
look. I'm looking. I'm looking really distraught. So.
Yes. Eclipse will tell Aiden that she does want to have a chat with him, and they can go on the carpet. She promises it won't be romantic.
And he'll be away from Glory for a while.
No Disney
Yes.
theme tunes.
Actually, I'm gonna bring Farewell along because I owe him a talk.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay, so
I'm the
it's us three in the
awkward,
carpet.
I'm this awkward third wheel that sits at the back.
No,
No,
it's.
you're totally
I
sitting in the
te-
middle. You're totally sitting in the
Oh,
middle.
between them.
Yeah.
Between them, completely
You're
oblivious.
chaperoning, okay?
I'm like,
We're taking
yeah,
Grandad for a nice drive in the country.
well, it would be more along the lines of, why is this
Okay.
every party I've ever been to?
I know because I owe both of you some explanations. Right, I did tell Farewell on that scene that I actually was going to tell him everything, so might as well like take 2 birds with one stone.
Yeah.
So give me a second. All right. You still have the book, Farewell?
Yeah, sure, here.
No,
The one
no,
we were
keep it.
gonna
I don't.
No?
I don't ever want to
You
see
mean
it.
the
in
one
my
we were
life.
gonna color in crayon?
Okay, first of all, Farewell, that book contains a bunch of blood hunter rituals and other shenanigans that can be really useful, which is why I thought of giving it to you. But I forget that it's written in a type of language that only I can read, and I fucking hate that. So,
You can
To be
teach me.
specific, this is magically encrypted text, so it only reveals itself to a canal.
right. So I basically tell him that. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just filling you in.
No, okay. I basically So if you could give me at least do me the favor of just keeping it as far away from me as possible, that would be great.
Do you still want it around in case it becomes useful?
I mean, it can be really useful. I'm gonna need some extra materials and other shit back from Monster World, but it's there's uses to it. Anyways, I know, well, no, quote unquote, know who is kind of being hounding us. Not just. I'm talking about the guy who is like the boss of the Deathlocks. They call him the Master. I don't know if that's his actual name or if just a nickname, but I've been against my own will. Yes.
I was gonna say, he just seems a bit full of himself, really, if his name is the Master.
That's what they call him. That's what I'm gonna call him. I don't know. And he's been hounding us. He's the one responsible for the Deathlocks that were sent after Olivia and me. That Cora helped me fight that night. He's the one responsible for the Deathlock at the temple. He is also looking for the Heart of Jordan, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And that's where.
That's
Right,
not very good.
and he has taken an interest in us, which is why he sent his death pet bird, which is why I entered kind of in a panic. So
Death pet bird.
yeah,
Yes?
the only other thing I know about him is he is not in this plane of existence. He's not in the prime material plane, and this might be a bit more relevant to you, Farewell. He is from the Shadowfell, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Every time.
Do I know anything about that at all, Simon? Or am I just sitting there like a question mark?
You've got a arcane training, so you've heard of the Shadowfell. You're not particularly well versed with the Shadowfell, but you know it exists. Whereas
Okay.
Farewell, he knows a lot about the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
Last
To
time
the
I
point where I'd
dreamt
say probably everything that Nick knows about the Shadowfell. God, now I'm saying it.
about a
Everything that Nick is saying about the Shadowfell, Farewell knows about the Shadowfell. It's the mixture between Shadowfell and Farewell. It's the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
Shadowwell.
So yeah.
Anyway,
You know, Farewell, that of the planes of existence that border the realm of death, the two you know of is the Void. That's different to the Abyss. The Void is kind of bordering on death and the Abyss. And then the kind of ground which is made... It's kind of made of undeath, and it's made of... I'm going to go Terry Pratchett here. It's an anthropomorphic plane, which means that it's created by the perception of death in the other planes of existence. And all of that power, all of that fear, all of that connection with death, which is present on almost every plane, created the Shadowfell. So it's kind of a form of the limbo, the void, that took shape, it took form. It's kind of a mockery of the other planes. And it's got a number of creatures residing in it. It has the Shadakai, these kind of grim, elf-like creatures that that worship and follow the Raven Queen. That's how you kind of know about them. But also there are Shadakai who worship other gods as well. The only one that's super of note is Torog, the screaming god.
Oh dear.
so every time the last time I dreamt about this master, which trust me, I don't want to dream about him ever fucking again, but that's not up to me. The last time I dreamt about him, he was in the Shadowfell, which is why I kind of went kind of crazy.
Right.
That makes a whole lot more sense.
Are you also gonna tell us what happened when you were away and why you went away?
While you do that, I'm going to grab some water because I'm absolutely dying here. I'll be right back.
You do that.
That is fair.
DM is away. Start anarchy. Anyways.
We're level 20 now. We're level 20 now.
We
so
find the
can't do
big
anything.
boss
Yeah,
and
yeah,
kill
that's-
them.
Yeah, everything's okay.
Simon,
Campaign
we're not
over.
level 20. Scream now. No, we're level 20.
We're level 20 now. Anyways.
But yes.
Um,
yeah.
RP continued.
I had a bit of a family reunion, if you can call it that. I wasn't really the last survivor, as I thought I was. And
I
Is that
assume this
good?
is good news.
it's news, definitely. Don't know if it's good or bad.
Okay.
That's how I got that book there. Didn't get it from nowhere.
I figured that one out.
Mm.
And part of me is happy to see that not all of my family is Ash, but also part of me hates the fact that
That it took so long for them to find you?
no, it's the fact that they found me at all. I kind of don't want to be a Canalm. In a way, I'm not a Canalm, but that's another thing.
Right.
And yeah, for as much as I look up to them, as much as I think they're great people doing some outstanding work, I also hate them, and I don't want to have anything kind of. That's why I kind of ended up in Ostergal working for fucking Renata Green, because I wanted to do anything that wasn't fucking blood hunting, and here they are shoving more bullshit duty onto me, because why the fuck not?
Did they ask you to go and hunt something down?
Sort of, kind of, maybe, I don't know. Kind of trying to forget everything that happened back then.
Well, thank you for letting us know. I know
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
not easy. Just
Yes. Thank you.
Fuck.
Uh,
Yeah.
I have some really terrible psalms about this sort of situation. If you feel that will take your mind off it, but I'll be honest with you. The Grandpa had this whole sermon. It's 45 minutes, and I have heard it so many times that I swear to you, I would probably end up underneath the wagon if I started. But if you think it'll help, I mean,
I'd rather you weren't.
I would rather I wasn't.
I give like Aiden like a once armed side hug just like for comfort and like.
Oh god.
It's sort of like in front of
At
Farewell
that,
as he's
Glory
sat in
sees
between
that,
the
and
three of
it's
them.
just like, yes! Farewell is doing his duty up there!
Clearly a friend comfort hug. Like so.
This is Glory we're talking about. As far as she's concerned, you're just trying to get rid of the old man so you can get on with it. But yeah.
Glory only knows of two states of in a relationship. No relationship, and you're already fucking, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
And by the way,
Yes,
as much as we
two
call him the old
states.
man, Farewell is not old.
Yeah, it's like
7!
he's like a bit older than Aiden is, just by a bit.
I have a feeling that out of all the characters, he's probably one of the elder ones. But
Yes, because I haven't set a complete age for Eclipse, but she's in her early 20s. She can't be anything else.
yeah,
Because he's wise. Wise people always have
Yeah.
wiseness
Yeah,
comes with age,
wise
so
beyond
he's
their
mentally
years.
either that or in like the almost year we've been playing, you've just aged him horrendously.
Yes.
Fucking Adventure Zone, like suffering game shit going on.
Oof. Now that
If I can-
hurts.
If I can make one suggestion, Aiden.
Yes.
I know a little bit about duty and family, having to follow in somebody else's footsteps. It's kind of been my whole life. I found that the easiest way to know your own path is to not push everything away, to open yourself up to all experiences, and only then can you know what's right and what's wrong. I didn't want
Experiences and people.
I would suggest experiences first. People is a little difficult. I didn't want to be a priest, well, a cleric to start off with. I wanted to be something completely different. But I'll be honest, now I'm very proud of who I am, or at least what I do.
Just
I keep books because that's what my grandfather did. And that's how I honor him. I remember things that he did, and I write stuff down. I know
Question.
you're... Go on, sorry.
No, sorry. I was gonna ask something to Simon, but I'm gonna do it once you're done. Sorry.
It's okay. I know that your relationship with your family is very different to what mine was with mine. but you still love him. Throw him no matter what. And I take the book out and I just place it next to him. Don't run from your past. Just acknowledge him.
How far away? Where did the actor said that she was?
Where,
Because I kind of forgot.
Hector,
Yeah.
Hector said that your mother is in the Amberglade Canton in Meridia. So it's the closest.
I know those.
Yeah, it's the closest part of the neighbouring country that's near you at the moment. It's on the other side of South Vardencourt. Have I got my world map here? Let me bring up my world map a sec. So if I get rid of...
And how far
There we
away is it from Vesta?
So if you're looking at the stream, so Vardencourt itself is... sorry, Ostergold is here, so tip of the target there. So that's roughly where you are. You're just like travelled a little way down the coast. The Amberglade Canton is over here in Meridia. So she's kind of travelled across the bottom of South Vardencourt and is somewhere at the bottom of Meridia, next to South Vardencourt.
Kind of already did a detour for your sake, Eclipse. Would you guys mind if we do another detour before we get back to the city?
For you?
Sure. Where are we going?
Amberglade.
Right,
In
so
India?
in order for you
Yes.
to get there, it'll take you about 4 months of travel conventionally.
I
to get
didn't know that. Again, I cannot measure distances in
That's
my
fine.
mind. Also, I
That's
didn't
why I
have
mentioned
a
it
map.
now.
As far as their family is concerned, we can go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's...
Once we're done finding out what's gone, whatever happened to us at this place, and we've tidied that up,
Sure.
we'll go.
All right.
Ma-
Thank
The
you.
greens be
Maybe,
damned.
Yeah, maybe even Renata might be able to just teleport us, because I'm pretty sure she knows some place.
She probably has fast travel. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Exactly that. If you go back to Ostergald, there's either going to be someone in the university or someone in the Green Organisation that'll go, you want to go where? Yeah, sure. I'm sure we've got a teleportation circle on file somewhere. And they will
Yeah.
probably be able to get you there.
See, we
Okay.
can do that for you.
All right.
It's just the
Thank
poor
you.
that can't get travel that fast.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to be rich,
Yeah.
or at
I
least
think
have
Felicia
powerful
can get-
friends.
I think Felicia can get teleportation circle next level, so you know.
Yeah.
Whenever that is.
Just so you know,
you just
I'm
leveled.
going to
Tomorrow at this
over
rate.
one of the rooms in the tavern and just convert it to a room for my teleportation circle.
God.
Because we are going home when we're done somewhere. Just take the flying carpet there and then teleport home when we're done.
Oh my
That's no
God.
problem.
Anyways.
I tap the book and I go, just hold on to it. You don't have to read it. You don't even have to use it.
You stuff it
But it
in your
was given
bag of
to you-
holding and it'll be.
It was
No,
given to
okay.
you for a reason.
Mm.
And,
Sure.
and this is going to sound cliche as fuck, but you never know. Maybe there is one or two gods smiling on you. I know mine is.
Yeah, fucking
I
that.
let Bear will say fuck to K19.
Ayuna Vandra has always been kind to me.
See? Now, I'm going
Alright.
to leave you two alone, and I'm going to. Would you mind
I'm
bringing
going
me
to drink
down
myself.
to the carriage? As I don't want to. I'm not Cora, and I can't face through things. And I'd like to get off.
On it,
please.
the funny thing is that right after Farrell decided to leave, I'm also going, I need to drink myself into oblivion, and I'm leaving as well.
Aww.
So farewell. You can jump off this this carpet because it's riding just above the carriage, and even if you were going to hit the carriage kind of hard, you could transform yourself into water momentarily and sluice yourself kind of into the carriage.
Oh, that's
Or
kind of gross.
I could eat shit and end up falling off the back of it.
Yes.
Yeah, both are equally possible. Depends on whether how
Also-
creative you're feeling today.
I feel this is a good time for a 10-minute break.
It is indeed. It's half
It
past.
is indeed.
So let me just grab hold of the vote screen and put the link in the chat. Come on, chat. So, who deserves a finesse point? Because you have all rested, which means that the pressure is off.
Yep.
And we need to see if you guys. There we go. It's up in the chat. Please vote for whoever you think deserves a finesse point. And for those who are watching, who haven't watched before, each character has the ability to use a finesse point either through the magical item that they have or to use it outside of combat. So we've got a couple of different things. I'll just bring up one or two before we go. And so let's see, just go display.
I have the power of shipping. That is all you need to know.
So Cora, which is the first one that came up,
Stop
has
giving Glory Felicia the finesse.
So Cora has Once Upon a Dream, can provoke a moment of deja vu in a target, making them feel like they've met her before, which very strong in role playing.
Plus,
They scream
I
my
have.
name. Go on.
Well, I put them all in one clump so I could know what the finesse points did. So it's Once Upon a Dream, but it's also if I use Temper, which gives me resistance to stuff. If I use the finesse point, I'm immune to damage from that stuff.
Yeah.
And if I use a finesse point with a thing called Body of Rage, I get an additional like 3d6 fire damage and
That's
stuff
correct.
like that.
Nick has They Scream My Name. Farewell, convert a finesse point to invoke unease or outright fear between a target and a chosen person, item, or location.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Yes. That's your social one.
That's your social thing. That's your outside of combat thing.
It's
Oh
such
my
a social
God.
thing to do.
Yeah. Rodrigo
Yeah.
has
Fear is a
whatever,
social
which
thing.
is Aiden can burn a finesse point to make a target less interested or apathetic in a task, action, or subject.
Basically, I have the power to give someone depression.
Yes.
It's not on my magical card. What is this?
Felicia
We weren't ever
Lust,
written that
darling,
down.
Lust. Yeah, this is not on your weapon. This is stuff that I
The
gave out.
social ones were, yeah, you had to write them down yourself.
Shit, I forgot about that and I've not written it down. That's why I never used it for that reason.
I will send you all your ones. Glory has Lust, darling, Lust, and she can burn a finesse point to suddenly provoke a fantasy in the mind of a target about a second target if they are capable of being attracted to them. And then
Please don't
Corinne
give it to
has
her.
They Land on Their Feet, which she used on you when you were fighting the Arinyas, and that is she can burn her finesse point to half falling damage on one target as a reaction. It's more of a terrain thing than anything else. So, please vote for who wants to have a finesse point. If you're looking for something to do whilst you're there, have a look at www.geekyclean.com, friends of the show, and you can get 10% off at checkout by putting the word chaotic, representing us, lowercase c, chaotic, at checkout to get wonderful bath smellies and things like that. There's a lovely mint thing at the moment, which I'm thinking of getting because it's bloody hot.
This stream,
Anyway,
everyone showers in this stream, and that's all you need to know.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, everyone
Right.
showers.
We will go for a break now, and we'll see you on the other side. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Welcome back, everybody, and we are on the road with Glory, Aiden, Eclipse, Farewell, and Cora. A bit of a heart-to-heart between Aiden and Farewell, and to a certain extent Eclipse, as much as he finds her the annoying cat of the party, has managed to have a little bit of character bonding. So, you're travelling over 2 days, I say 2 long rests, and as you're on the road, any other personal conversations you would like to have? Anyone?
Was anyone else gonna have one? Or
I basically already said everything I wanted to say.
Okay.
Glory doesn't really have anything to take up with you guys.
So probably the next day, because I expect that Cora just kind of slept, kind of through most of the next, well, not most of the next day, but like a whole chunk. So maybe that afternoon or whatever she gets up. Okay. So I picked up loads of strange things in that place, by the way, and I pull out like the weird hooks. I don't.
Are they
Okay.
weird in the room? Are they weird in the room?
I mean, okay, they're
I
not.
probably wasn't supposed to loot. I mean, yes, we brought Jerome, but like he's our son now, so
You brought the mimic with you?
of course.
She pulled.
He was resting like slightly behind me on the pillows of the carriage, and I'm
He
just
was
like,
a
"Here
pillow.
he is."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a pillow?
Yes.
Yeah. She pulls out this pillow, puts it on her lap, and it just goes whoop and turns into a small, slightly growling money box.
He's
What?
kind of cute.
What the
He's
fuck?
adorable.
What the fuck is wrong with the both of you?
You know,
This is
I'm saying
Jerome.
this
Ida.
repeatedly
You missed
more.
when we picked him up, but he's our son now. We're gonna take
It's-
care of him.
I'm gonna say it's a good
And
thing.
people give me shit for having a mouse. See?
Tuck is adorable.
Wait, you have a mouse?
Yes. What do you think this? What? Yes. Have you not
People
seen
would
him
land
crawling on my
gray.
shoulder?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a mouse. He's called Tuck. He lives in this coconutty thing.
Little dog
Anyway,
grey
he's not
dormouse.
dead yet. I'm
Okay.
really surprised. I thought that he might roast when we went to that ball, and I went hot. He's pretty hardy. Anyway, you have a mimic, so that's kind of fun. I mean, until it grows up. How quickly do mimics grow?
Well, I think he's
It's
been like this for
undocumented,
thousands.
actually. We are not
I
quite
think
sure
it's-
how they grow, because technically once they eat enough, they split and then become 2 mimics. That's how they
I'm-
reproduce, at least, I think.
I'm gonna say that this guy has been this size for several hundred years. I don't think we're in risk of him growing any larger anytime soon.
Exactly. I'm
What
saying
about
good
eating
lord.
you when you sleep?
He likes us because we give him gold.
Yes.
You give him gold?
Yes.
He's a safekeeping.
Yeah. He's a sweet
Oh
little
my
boy.
god, I wanna die.
Okay. Well, I found weird hooks, and I found a whole load of cool tools. And
And
the
Cora's pulling out these torture hooks that seem to be
Yeah.
made of an exotic metal.
why?
well,
I
because
told you that they were for, like, hurting yourself. Why?
I'm not. I don't want them. I just thought there was some strange metal I didn't know, so I thought that
I'm
maybe
sure
someone.
some blacksmith can melt them down into the raw metal.
Exactly.
Could
I
be
mean,
worth a
they're
lot.
pretty nasty looking. I don't particularly want to keep these, but I just thought they might be interesting and maybe they were worth something. And
very
nobody
sharp.
wants, Well, anyway, enough with this. And I got a whole load of tools we can take back to Freetown. But I don't know if you saw all those little statues of the kids. I kind of took a couple, like, not as a bad thing. I was intrigued by it. It was nice.
They're just statues to Pelor. Why would you mean?
Well,
We
yeah.
didn't get one from Ostrogol.
Oh, it was
No, but they
Peller.
were They were all of them were different. One like look at this one. It's all gems and gold, and this is worth something.
For the sake of the stream, when I spot that, I do let out a less than manly scream.
Not showing you the screaming
No,
guy
not
yet.
that one yet.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was
no,
a screaming
but-
guy.
So the
There
No,
was
no,
the-
I'm currently I got out the wooden one, and then I got out the fancy one.
yep. So both
I'm
of these
gonna
are
be getting
Pelor.
out the other one in a second.
Yeah.
Simon,
Item, yeah.
Go on.
I know. Just a quick reminder: what type of gem did I need to put on the Deathlocks eye sockets?
A pair of rubies.
Pair of rubies.
Are there rubies on this thing?
Yeah, are there rubies on the thing?
No, they're semi-precious stones and pearls.
Okay.
If you've ever seen one of those kind of gaudy-looking seaside porcelain dolls that they've decided that sticking seashells on there would be a good idea, it's kind of a bit like that. It's a little kind of nasty, but it's got some pearls on it. Anybody who would want to cast Identify, there's some pearls. And you wouldn't have to break them off either. You could just hold the idol. Farewell, you
So-
know that people from noble families, if any of their family is going to go off and take holy orders, they sometimes give a gem-encrusted idol as a way of kind of showing this person's status. It's considered to be about the only thing that they're allowed to take with them that is of value. And this person, this member of this order, clearly came from a well-to-do family because they provided this very, very opulent idol. Other than that, it's a Pelor idol. It's depicting the ever-child aspect of Pelor,
Yeah.
the innocence, the wonder, and also a certain amount of naivety as well.
Pelor.
I know, it's
a rich
kind
person's
of nice.
one.
I like the wooden one though, 'cause the other one's gaudy and horrible. But you know, we can maybe sell that or give it to the
Let's-
temple.
Not too
That one.
worth
Whatever.
a lot, but
Anyway, that's not the interesting thing. Okay,
Okay.
there was
You found
another
more?
one.
Ooh.
There was another
Okay.
one. I was finding them all over the place. You guys were getting your own.
Mm.
I found one that was kind of plaster, and I thought something was in it, so I accidentally broke it, and there was something. Okay, but there was a different statue inside, and it looks kind of nasty.
You watch as Farewell goes a strange colour of turquoise.
Does he
As-
wet himself? But is it just sweat?
It's just sweating.
And yeah,
Does he
he's
scream?
looking absolutely
There
shocked
is there.
as the
there is a
figure that
scream.
Cora holds up is a what you would consider to be beautiful, almost elvish in appearance, male figure that's bound by spiked chains and is screaming.
Whereabouts did you find that?
Inside one of the other statues.
Oh no
A
no no no
fake
no no.
Statue.
Okay,
Why?
this-
Who is? I mean,
This
it's
set
horrible.
up
Oh, Glory
This set
destroy
up-
that.
Farewell's
Destroy
alarm
it.
bell. So
Do I
Now-
recognize
now-
I
the
can't.
picture?
It's bronze. Why?
Put it down. Stop touching it and put it down.
Okay, I
I'd
have an
drop it.
idea.
On the floor.
I have an idea. Question, Simon.
Yeah?
Does the pipe only work on limbs?
Let's not break the carriage.
The lead pipe works on pretty much anything that you press it up against, but other than putting the pipe up against something directly, it's pretty inefficient. It's a really shitty firearm.
I see, but can it be used to break anything else that's just a limb?
Well, this idol is small enough to put in the end of the lead pipe. If you wadded it in the end of the lead pipe and shot it out the window, you're pretty sure there wouldn't be anything bigger than a matchstick.
God. I see. I mean, unless someone else does something to try to destroy it, I will take out the pipe and fuck it up.
Okay, sure.
Question first,
What?
do I
Someone
recognize
can melt
it?
it down, and we can use the bronze for something else. What's so bad about this statue?
No, everything,
No.
absolutely everything to do with this is tainted, and we must
Okay,
destroy it.
quick answer for Glory.
So,
This is an obscure version of an idol. The idol has many forms. This is an obscure version that pretty much only an expert would know. And as such, I'm going to, largely because Farewell's already kind of got the knowledge, I gave it to him last week. I'm going to say, you take a look at that and go, he's kind of hot, but, not into the spike chain thing. So, unless anyone else is going to do something, Aiden pulls out, effectively, a lead pipe that's normally useful for bashing things, grabs the idol, stuffs it in the end of the lead pipe, winds down the window of the carriage, points the pipe outside, and presses a button, and there's the biggest fucking loud noise that you've ever heard. There's this giant flare of metal and shrapnel and smoke. The horses, because this is a horse-drawn carriage, go fucking nuts and start to double time it down the road. Stuart starts screaming, "Are we being attacked? Are we being attacked?" And you can tell he's pointing his crossbow. He's like, "One of you get up here now! We're being attacked!" And chaos ensues for about 5 minutes. However, once everything has calmed down,
say Aiden is a fucking idiot.
the idol is no more.
Farewell.
Do we know that? Did we see it? Because I'm gonna imagine that it just shot and disappeared into the wilderness. But
He just shot it into the Fenwild, yeah.
yeah, it's like what?
I suppose that's
Sorry,
one way to get
the
rid of
Fenlands.
things.
Aiden, can you do me a favour and just roll me a d20? Just a d20.
Oh my god, that's a natural 20!
Natural 20, yeah. On a natural 1, the lead pipe would have actually splayed open at the end because you effectively stuffed something in the end of it.
Cartoon style.
This turned into glitter. This turned into bronze glitter that is now splattered over the environment. And I'm going to say that, yeah, you based on the huge conflagration that came at the end of this thing, everyone is absolutely certain that Aiden just obliterated the fuck out of this thing.
I put the lead pipe away, and I immediately say, I'm sorry, but considering what we've been through so far, if he thinks that shit's bad, that shit's gotta go.
Okay.
I guess.
Where did you get the obliteration?
I already put it away, by the way. I already put the pipe away. It was just like a quick draw, shoot it, put it away.
I want to get back to Farewell in a second, but Rodrigo, just do me a very, very quick perception check.
22.
22. Yeah, you quickly pull out the pipe and hold it out the window for a while, because as you put it back, you realise that it was quite warm and it was starting to burn your back.
Okay.
And then you put it away again about 5 minutes later. Right.
Yeah.
So where
carry
did
on.
you get this obliteration thing?
Not
Anyway,
now.
Idol,
Farewell.
Idol.
Yes.
Okay, that seemed extreme. What's so bad about this statue? I mean, the fact that they were clearly worshipping something hiding inside a different thing is kind of messed up.
Weird.
But yeah, but
Also the fact that, like, I mean, the guy's hot. Was hot, but he's a guy, obviously, and chains, nah. Like,
he was also screaming, seemingly in pain. So
yeah.
that's strange,
Which is
but
kind
you're
of
into
fitting
different things, so
considering they were kind of torturing themselves, but you know.
huh. Who is that then?
I'll assume it's a god since he was a statue that you pray to.
Farewell?
Yeah, farewell. I mean, I already blew it to pieces, so...
Thank you.
I mean, was something watching us? Because I had that in my bag since last night.
No,
Oh, don't worry, Cora. Someone's always watching us.
That doesn't make anything better. That actually makes me feel a million times worse.
That was Turok.
Fucking
In
dinosaur slayer.
effect, an evil god. He was an
Huh.
idol
Oh.
too. He was cruel and reckless, and he inflicted suffering on my people, on all primordials.
Right.
He was cruel beyond any comprehension. You know when you're being naughty as a kid and they used to tell you that certain things would come. Torah was more than that to us. He was real. We even now are terrified that he might find us because of what he would do. And
Okay.
his if his followers are in there, then that was bad. And
Right.
if you were talking about, the master that you mentioned before, it's
Yeah.
all the same plane. It's all the same kind of.
Oh boy.
Oh.
So-
Fuck.
And more than anything, he kinda, from if my memory's serving me right, hates Pelor because he went to Pelor to find respite from his suffering, because that's what he looked like in that idol before he kind of got beaten the shit out of by Cord and Bahamut and others.
Pain, I think.
Pelor didn't find anything worth saving, and so punished him. And now he's evil, pure evil. And we shouldn't. You'll be all right. Don't worry. You'll be okay. But yeah, that's not something we ever want to carry around or have anything near us. Ever.
Okay. Gotcha.
So one of these guys from way back whenever was actually following the other thing. I mean, it makes sense if they're all in there torturing each other. Someone who likes torture would probably go there.
Yeah.
More
they-
like
they-
he,
They
since
believe through
their
their own
master
suffering.
tortured his, it would make sense for him to go there to torture them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Twisted
believe-
logic, but it works.
They do believe through their own suffering they become closer to their god. That's kind of why when I mentioned to you that we're in there, the whole let's punish ourselves to cleanse ourselves of any wrongdoings is fucking stupid, because it takes you closer to that path than it does to Pelor's. They would have been better served doing good in the world, going out there and doing righteous things. Kind of like
Maybe.
Craig.
Yes.
Well, Well, maybe it was all a ploy by maybe the head person was actually the follower of that dude and was
I don't know. I
convinced
don't
them all
think
to do it.
I don't know.
Now that
You
would
don't-
be a
you-
master plan.
I don't think you get to find that somewhere that public and missed a fucking torture chamber and only have one person be on it.
No, I mean the
Yeah.
person in charge is the one convincing the
Yeah,
others
but
they should
even if
punish
it-
themselves.
Even if it was the person in charge, you need more people believing that to have the setup that they have.
Oh yeah,
Well,
totally.
it
You just,
depends. They had, to be fair, you only found one that was hidden, which might have been one priest who, as you said, that came there to do it
Yeah.
without being shamed. But
I mean this,
I
this
don't
is
wanna
a
be rude,
solid
but I
wood
don't-
one.
Don't think it matters. It doesn't matter if
I
there
only
was
found
one
those
or
Few.
10. Their acts, no matter what, was perverted, and no wonder they fell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go sit at the top for a bit. I'll see you guys
Do
later.
that.
And I'll go join Simon at the top.
Stuart, I'm
Stuart.
Yeah, shit, you're Simon.
Simon's your
Sorry.
uncle or something, isn't it?
Simon's also my uncle,
Yeah,
yes.
Simon's also your uncle because I like to confuse things. Okay, so the if I just bring this up, I should be able to show it. There we go. So it says here, Torog, god of imprisonment and torture. This, by the way, is the Illyrian version of this. Torog was once a mighty force in the transition, a beautiful and perfect being, but it was said his nature was to torture and revel in those less fortunate than he, and once he lost his last thought of compassion, he became a cruel, reckless force, able to imprison and inflict pain on primordial and god alike, simply by the force of his will. Bahamut, Cord, Bane and Moradin broke his beautiful form and left him a wretched mass of broken bones and mangled flesh. He pleaded Pelor to alleviate his pain, but Pelor could find no shred of morality within him to fill with his healing light, meaning that Torog would feel his pain for eternity. Torog imprisoned himself in his own plane of torment and pain, known as the Underdark. His followers, cleric and paladin alike, are mostly formed from sinister races who thrive in the Underdark. Torog wants nothing more than to be destroyed and freed from his pain, but this is forbidden by gods good and evil alike. The reason? Torog's power is the only thing keeping primordials in their eternal prisons. It says something about his followers that they will not attempt to kill him themselves. Their nature is so twisted that they delight in the torture of their own god. Now, we mentioned the Shadowfell before. Torog's domain is the Underdark. It's a place of suffering and brooding and imprisonment, to be trapped beneath the world, to know that life continues above before you, to be forgotten. It's a plane connected to this physical plane, and it's done in such a way for people to go and get lost, for people to seek the dark places, to go into the depths and to be forgotten. It's been mentioned that he has connections with the Shadowfell as well. This is news. Torog is not supposed to be anywhere near the Shadowfell because he seeks death. He's supposed to be denied the Shadowfell. So that's the bit that I'm going to make relevant here. They've mentioned Torog with regard to the Shadowfell. That's incorrect. He's supposed to be in the Underdark.
Boy.
Okay. Little bit of mystery there. More a kind of divine mystery than anything else. And hello, Jero, for us all, and thank you for hosting us. With something for Farewell to dwell upon, yet more for him to dwell upon, I think is probably more accurate. You guys carry on travelling as you have been, and suddenly there's this kind of, I don't know, sound coming from the distance. It's late. The sun is setting, and you can hear this kind of rhythmic beat, like people are beating drums, and it makes you feel like harvest festivals where people are dancing around fires, beating drums. And normally the beating of the drums is to see away evil spirits or spirits of plague and pestilence. But this seems to have a bit of a different rhythm to it. You turn the corner in the track, and what you're greeted with is a field aflame. In the middle of this field, and you realise that this is where the track is going to, is a Crossroads Tavern. Quite a large one. Clearly big enough to have horses stay there, carriages stay there. There seems to be some sort of barn or warehouse that's attached to it that you think is probably for on-the-road trading or storage. But where normally you would see just a bunch of, say, horses and carters and things like that around the place, there's an encampment that is completely surrounding this rather large and heavily fortified tavern. This is meant to be a place that defends itself from bandits and things like that. So it's actually a walled arrangement here. And the place is just aflame. I don't mean that the field itself is burning, but there are torches probably every 20 foot or so. And this thing is medieval Glastonbury. This giant festival going on. You can hear that this rhythmic beating is coming from these large kettle drum, timpani type drums that are being beaten around this camp. And there seems to be every now and again that people will just stop and toast to the sky, shouting as they do so. And the closer you get, the more you can hear the din. This is an incredibly raucous party. And you can see that most people are wearing scraps of armor, typical kind of barbarian garb, fighters, rogues of a kind. Most of them are, because it's nighttime and they're clearly in the middle of their revels, most of them are kind of wearing very little. They're kind of wearing their kind of stuff that you would sleep in camp in. And they're not dressed for travel or indeed battle. And you can tell, even from a distance, they are getting roaringly drunk. Absolutely roaringly drunk.
Cora bumps up to the front of the carriage in between, like just behind, I guess, Stuart and Farewell.
Mm-hmm.
This looks exciting. We should so stop.
Fuck.
Sorry. Use my cloak. It's kind of fun. Sorry. It was easier than trying to shout and climb. And anyway, we should stop. We clearly, I think we all need a drink and to rest. And if there's, an undead bird coming after us, then we should be amongst a lot of people that we could hide amongst. That's not really what I mean. Anyway, drink.
Stuart looks at you with a bit of a confused frown, Farewell, as Cora looks at their revels glassy-eyed. You get close to the campsite, and a large, bearded guy, naked to the waist, wearing what seems to be fur shorts and a pair of fur boots, runs
Hello,
up to you
RPG Lab.
and hello RPG Lab, and thank you for raiding.
For a second, I thought you said RPG guy, and I was like, yeah, that's the way to describe him.
Yeah.
Raiding research.
Random NPC.
This guy walks up and he goes, "You there, all of you guys in that carriage of yours and your swanky kind of what's it called, liver on the side. You if you's coming here and you's gonna be joining us in this revelry here, you's gotta drink to Marcus. You've got to drink to Marcus. He kicked the bucket, and this is his funeral here. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Who's Marcus?
Wait, Marcus who?
Eh?
I don't think that's...
No, like, what's his last name?
Oh, Summersby, of course.
Do you know him?
No,
your DM's a dick. Don't worry.
I fucking hate you, Simon. I fucking hate you. My heart sank.
It's a common name. You're effectively in. You're in Vardencore. A lot of these kind of Latin kind of names or Roman kind of names is useful around here. But yeah, that was me deliberately fucking with you. He goes, "Aye, If you're gonna come in here and start telling people to tone it down because you want a night's sleep or something like that, you can go feck off somewhere else.
No, we want to drink. Can we join?
I see. She's welcome.
I've never seen you so.
She's welcome.
never seen you
She can
so
come.
I don't
I've never
like
seen
the
you so
people.
excited about drinking before, Cora.
Well, we have been in this carriage for 2 whole days, and before that we were like in a torture chamber thing and fighting mushrooms.
Say that out loud.
The barbarian in front of you is like, you, business or pleasure?
Fuck it.
Ah,
Business.
business, and now we need some pleasure.
Also, we're
I-
gonna
fuck
need
it,
some extra strong stuff.
I
for
like
this
you.
guy.
I like you, lass. You can tell me all about your
This
business
is
as well.
only
Which
gonna
you're going
go
in there
one
to like
direction.
take down some dark cult or something. Because that sounds really good.
I say
we're-
fuck it. I haven't drunk in days.
Hey,
Yeah, this
there we
one
go. We
loves
got
his
2.
drink. He will fall asleep in a corner though. He's not very lively.
Yeah, he can
Come
do
on,
that. That's
come
fine.
on,
He,
Aiden.
he might wake up with a wee tash or something, but that's absolutely fine.
We're going drinking with Cora.
Okay. Okay, come this way, come this way. Try to keep the
Do it,
horses
come
away
on.
from some of my friends that try to eat the horses. Come this way, come this way. Come.
Oh, okay. Maybe deal with the horses first. There, Stuart.
Stuart goes,
Are you
yeah,
gonna-
I'll make sure they go into the tavern itself. Oh god, they're tearing the place up. I can't think of how much money they must have put down already. Yeah, we've paid for the tavern twice over. If there's any part of it standing by the end of the night, we fucked up something royal. Come on, come this way. Come. This is good.
That does sound like a party. I haven't demolished a building in years.
In years? You're overdue then. Come on, this way. I'm Hefnir, by the way.
Really into
Come
it.
with me. Come. Hefnir will show you the way. So
What was his name, Simon?
Hefnir, Henfnir.
And what is he? Human?
He's human, bordering on bear.
So he's a bear.
He is a bear.
He's a gay bear.
Yeah, he is a big gay bear. And so he goes through and he stops. And this guy is so damn drunk that when he's trying to introduce you to people as he's passing, he starts introducing you to a particular wild elf, and he's there saying, "Oh yeah, she's got the best shot in the whole of Encore when she's sober. Right now she couldn't hit the side of this horse. That wasn't a bet. Keep your fucking kind of thing." You realise after a while he introduces quite a few people to the horses because he's that drunk.
Yeah.
Instead of kind of introducing the people on the carriage itself. You get to the tavern, and I'll give you a bit of a layout of the land because this will give you options. So within the tavern itself, the place is chaos. There's kind of friendly fights going on as they are doing so, but then you can see some fights are just finishing and they're declaring a winner, and the winner kind of just cheers, picks up the loser, and does something like kisses them on the top of their head, or puts their arm around their shoulders, grabs a beer and puts it in their hand, or whatever. They're having like kind of for them this is like sport. This is what they do to let off steam, and they're letting it off all over the place. You can see that in one corner of the tavern courtyard, sitting on kind of a decking, is a kind of a sober looking guy. He sat drinking some champagne on what seems to be picnic tables, and next to him there's a studious looking halfling who's just writing in a ledger, looking up, watching as something else gets broken, and writing something else down in a ledger. And you can see the Meister's hat that the stern looking guy is wearing, and you have a feeling that he owns the tavern, and he's just basically watching the tavern have the crap kicked out of it. Also in the courtyard, right at the back, and you kind of have to negotiate the carriage a little bit past it to get the carriage inside the stables, is a large silk tent. By tent I mean marquee. and standing out the front of it are various sex workers of all genders, and you can see they've got guards and things. It seems like a really professional outfit. And you can see that they are accepting and rejecting clients based on how politely they're approaching the tent and whether or not they can stand straight.
Yep.
And these have got gigantic guards in front. You can see a couple of Goliaths, a whole clutch of half-orcs and orcs, and a Minotaur, a female Minotaur with a giant maul, standing right in front of the front flaps of the tent. And there's one guy that just kind of shambles up, tripping over himself, thinking that he can get in, and the Minotaur just kind of snorts a laughter in his face, and he just kind of turns around and goes, "Okay, no need to be rude about it," and just kind of toddles off in the opposite direction. So the places you can go are the camp, the tavern, which is huge, just this gigantic building, the tent, or you can go and speak to the owner of the tavern. If you go into these places, most of these places will have drunken fighters, barbarians, rangers, rogues, all martial types, drinking to this guy, this Marcus Summersby, who you can see his name is scrawled up everywhere, and people are toasting him all the way throughout the night.
Well, clearly this guy had a lot of friends.
Or did something quite spectacular on his way out.
Either way, they must have paid a fuck ton to get the owner to look the other way like this. I'm impressed.
I think what they said is they paid for the tavern to be rebuilt twice. If they
Exactly. That's a lot of money, sweetie.
Yes, I know.
Oh,
we sure
come
this is
on.
wise?
No, of course it's not wise. Go have a drink. You just look.
I'm with Core on this one. Let's go grab a drink. I'm sure the party inside will be great.
You know, this is a funeral. This is your cup of tea. You can go and say some nice things about a person you don't know, and like send him off to.
Like, just show the
have you
Raven
been-
badge and say that it is an honor to
Have you
be
been-
a celebration of life and the afterlife and all of that jazz, and you'll be accepted quite readily. It'll be
Have you all been sneaking Aiden's stash? Do you really want me to go talk to random people?
No.
Who do you think
You
told
do what you want. I don't know. The other thing you're good at. Clearly, a lot of people are injured here. You could help people. Maybe they like being injured. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of fights going on. Clearly.
Or they want to be fixed up so they can go back to fighting. That is also a possibility. You should steal.
I'll probably
Or
buy
they
you some
want-
drinks for that.
Or they want to be fixed up to go back into that tent over there.
At this point,
That too.
a window explodes. A first-story window explodes, and flying out of it is a butt-naked tiefling woman who hits the deck really, really hard. There's a crack that sounds like she's broken either her spine or her skull. And as she does that, seemingly from nowhere, a Cordish priest runs up to her, places their hand on the back of her neck. This strange fire suddenly just burns around her body. The individual tongues of flame that are running around her body are the colour of steel and blood, and you can see that there's some sort of glow happening inside her body as this cleric casts Cure Wounds at level 4. She suddenly wakes up and with a gasp sits up and starts laughing, points at somebody who's standing in the broken window looking really guilty, and she goes, "Right, you're having it," and again, butt naked, just runs straight back into the tavern, presumably to go back up to that room.
There
Okay,
seems to be a
Go
lot
drink.
of naked.
go on.
It seems to be a lot
That
of naked
was.
Well,
Is
I
that
don't
the
know
best
now if
couch?
Glory's gonna go upstairs or she's gonna go in the tent, but she's definitely going one of those two places, right? Am I right?
I'm not too much for courtesans. I prefer the.
Oh, are they? Oh, you don't like paying for them. You wanna work your magic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
There's
about
no hunt if you
skills,
pay.
sweetie.
Well, there's always the
Yeah.
Minotaur. Right.
So,
Yeah, she's hot.
so is the dress code to be naked? I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of naked people.
No.
Probably a little bit of
It's
everything.
probably just something that happens naturally as you
Yeah.
drink more.
Yeah.
The tiefling ranger that you saw being punted out of a window was the only fully naked person you've seen so far. Everybody else has just been wearing kind of barbarian chic, which is kind of like leather straps, various variations on fur shorts and trousers and things. There's a lot of topless men about, a few topless women as well. But other than that, there's not a huge amount of nudity here. It's practical nudity. It's quite hot here. There's a lot of people here.
How about this? You get the first round, and I stop worrying.
Done.
Come on. I
Right,
assume Glory and Cora take one arm each of Farewell and just drag him inside.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
did.
all
It was a naked tiefling. That was not Glory. It was definitely
Oh.
tiefling. Crashing through the window.
Oh
Give
my
it-
god.
I turn around as when like Eclipse explains that, and I go, "Give it 20 minutes."
He's wrong.
I didn't say it was wrong. I just said give it 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You go inside the tavern and you realise that the bar has been completely obliterated. There's a quite an inebriated barmaid. You can tell because she's not wearing some form of leather or fur. That walks up to you and she goes, yeah, your money's no good here, love. If you want a drink, just either take it off somebody else or find where one of the many, many barrels are around here. Barrels, bottles, if it's unattended, pick it up and drink it. It's fine. God, I'm knackered. I don't think I have a bedroom anymore.
I
Yeah.
just look for a bottle of wine or whatever, honestly. Like I can't find rubbing alcohol and I take that.
Yeah, you can see that in the corner of the room, Aiden, there is a bottle of red wine that's lying down on its side.
Simon. I was gonna say the Eclipse helps Aiden find something suitable to drink.
Okay, it wasn't something that required a teamwork effort. There is wine everywhere. There's half-drunken
Yes.
stuff everywhere. You
Okay,
can find
I-
many half bottles of wine that you can just pick up and pour into whatever you can find.
Right, okay, I just grab a bottle, make sure that there isn't like piss in it, considering the state of this place.
Yep.
And just
Feeling it,
start
feeling it,
drinking
feeling it.
straight.
Yep.
Yeah, and then just start drinking it straight from the bottle.
Sure. As you slug it back, there are some people nearby, because you can tell that some people have been watching you going, oh, we've got some legit folk in here, what the hell? You pick up the nearest bottle of red wine, give it a sniff, and then give it a chug, and there's some looks of satisfaction as they go, yeah, they're alright, they're here to have a piss up. Just like Hefnir had warned you, if you were here to be sensible, they probably would have had a problem with you. And in fact, one of them comes up and goes, "Aye, Marcus!" and just kind of slams his pewter tankard up against your bottle. It doesn't break.
I just kind of stare at him blankly. I don't know what to do. Drink.
He pulls out this guy who you've never met. He's just walked up to you. And to give you an idea, he's wearing half plate, but he's only wearing the top half of his half plate, so nothing up for his legs. He's wearing a pair of regular trews, pair of regular boots, but he's got what I call a duelist half plate, so it's half plate with a quite ostentatious plate shoulder, but on the right hand side there's nothing. And it's meant to just protect one side of his body whilst he's protecting the other side of his body with his rapier. His rapier is at his hip. He pulls out this quite ornate-looking hip flask and says, "Go on, who wants some?" And it's clear that it's got some sort of spirit in it.
I just go. This is mostly to myself because look at the state of this place. It's mostly to myself, but I go. I had an emotionally tiring few days, and there's nothing I want more right now to be alone with some shit-tasting alcohol. So if you'd excuse me, and I just go find a corner to say it.
Okay. You slope off. He goes, "Anybody else got the guts?" No?
I'm grabbing any glasses on the tables or empty glasses and thrusting them into people's hands.
He pours
Go on,
out.
then.
He pours out a clear
I
liquid
drag Iden back to
into the
shots.
glass, and he gives you about. I'm going to say you pick up a small goblet, and he puts about 2 fingers worth into the goblet and goes, "Oh, that should be enough. You're only a small one."
Down it.
Because he says that, I don't down my shot. I take out a flask I have on me,
Yeah.
and I go, "I bet you 5 gold you can't down that in one."
Oh!
Just remind me what this flask is.
That's the flask you gave me that when you drink it, it causes a level 1 spell to go off.
Okay.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Nick!
It seems socially acceptable in this place. And
Yeah.
he was rude.
I mean, I guess.
Okay, so first of all, let's take this in, I guess, initiative drinking order. Kate, give me a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Like, where's my spell sheet? Where's my character sheet? Oh!
We can't.
Can't hear you, Kate.
Sorry, 21.
21. Yeah. You drink this thing down, you can feel the pulse in your eyeballs. This is strong, strong stuff. You almost feel like you can taste the vapor through your nose. And as it goes down, you suddenly feel incredibly, incredibly drunk. For selected rolls, you are now poisoned. But only selected rolls.
You just...
That's on a pass, by the way.
that is strong. What is that? More. Give me something.
I passed Cora my one.
You pass it over, and he goes, "This is Fey Gin. The berries are from the Feywild. We had a gig there about 2 years back."
I mean, you need to try this. It's spirits from the Feywild.
So he
It's really drunk.
he says, "So you say you bet I can't chug that down?" He takes it off you if you allow him.
Yeah. And then I sort of like motion everybody to stand back, and I just want him to sort of be. I assume there's people around
I
us,
am
so
watching
I'm just like
expectantly
this is
from my
gonna go
corner.
well.
Being drunk, I'm completely oblivious. So I clink glasses with him and then swig mine as he does the same.
I'm just watching from my corner, sipping some wine.
Okay. He necks the entire thing. And I would like you, first of all, farewell, to roll me a D8.
Okie dokie. 3.
A 3. Okay. Good to know. And now I'd like you to roll me a D20.
Oh no.
18.
18.
Oh no. I don't like this.
I mean, look, if it only does 3 damage, that's good.
Only.
It's the other way around.
Okay.
Like the D8 pick the spell and the D20 picks the damage.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the damage. The damage comes next. So, You watch as he necks this thing, and suddenly there's this kind of... He makes this sound, consciously makes this sound of going, whoa, whoa, oh, oh. And he picks a random direction. Roll a d8. You are 1.
I know what spell it is.
2.
2. Okay. Cora, roll me a d4.
Oh my god, I don't like this chain of rolls.
On a 3 or a 4, you are on that side of Farewell.
What does that mean?
She rolled a 4.
You
I
rolled a
rolled
That
4.
means you get hit.
Okay, you are in the line of fire. So you watch as he's there going,
So now I'm
whoa,
just like, yeah!
oh, 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 and then suddenly this strange kind of shimmer in the air around his mouth goes off. And I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw, thankfully, with advantage.
Do I need to do anything? Or am I right?
Natural 20.
Oh wow!
Okay,
It was an 18 and a 20.
Farewell. Roll me 2d8.
Okie doke.
Thunder wave.
9.
Okay.
Nice!
9.
So, suddenly, like he's trying to hawk up a hairball, this duelist fighter, this dex fighter, goes and this wave just appears out of his mouth, and he throws a thunder wave out of his mouth into Cora, narrowly missing Farewell, and into another 2 people standing behind her. Cora gets so 4 points of damage because you succeeded, and then half that again to 2 points of damage because of another effect. So take 2 points of thunder damage. However, you're a small person, and he pretty much just did it in your face, so I am going to rule that you fly 100 feet back into a...
100 feet?
Sorry,
Ow.
10 feet. Sorry, not 100 feet, 10
It's
feet.
like 100 feet is a long way.
Get shut out of the tavern.
Yeah, like-
Out of the tavern,
and
through
into
the
the
stable,
field.
into a tent. Okay, so 10 foot. You get catapulted 10 foot straight into a dwarf. Yeah? And he was sitting down and kind of laughing and joking and quaffing ale at the time, and he's just like in the middle of telling a joke. Then there's this massive explosion, and then there's this little halfling in his lap, and he looks down and goes, "Here, lass, what the hell?" And he's just kind of holding his ears and things.
Marcus! And I grab his drink if he's got one, and I chug it.
He is not going to resist. He lets you have his drink as you scream to Marcus. By the way, as this is happening, because a lot of stuff's going on at the same time, this thunder wave gets heard 300 foot, which is why I said 100 before instead of 10. 300 foot in every direction. So you guys hear as
The
suddenly
mother of all belches.
everything goes silent. And at the point where it goes silent, you
And
just
I
hear
shout to Marcus.
exactly that. Everybody stops to look at you, and then from the lap of this really sweaty dwarf, you see this halfling just pick up his tankard. And this tankard, by the way, is kind of strange. It's kind of different, but we'll get to that in a minute. She says to Marcus and starts pouring beer over her face. Some of it's going into her mouth because this is a big old tankard. At which point there's a huge hooray to Marcus, and everything continues.
Yeah.
Like having now had 2 of those shots as well, so I'm probably completely plastered already.
Yeah, the second shot, I do need to get you to do another Constitution saving throw with advantage.
That
Natural 20.
Oh my god.
You're already like like a machine.
This stuff is good. This stuff is really good. Cora, I would like you to note down that the next physical attack that you make on someone, it has to be like a kick or a punch or use of a weapon. Add D8 to the damage that it produces.
Okay. Okay.
I reach over,
That was a drink.
go to take my flask if he'll surrender it, and drop 5 gold in his hand. I'll slap him on the shoulder, and I'll simply say something from my home.
He goes,
And,
you've got some great hooch where you come from. I mean, come on. I mean, where do you come from?
the primordial plane.
Oh my god, I've always wanted to go. And he puts his arm around Farewell's shoulder and starts talking about the mud flats, which is between the plane of elemental fire and the plane of elemental earth. And he says, "No, the lava I'm not that interested in, but I'm told that there's mud flats there, and there's a spice that grows on top of the mud as it's steaming, yeah." And he just starts talking about that. You realise about halfway through the conversation that he's talking about a very severe elemental narcotic that he wants to try.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more of that gin?
Yeah, he offers it to you.
No?
Awesome,
Oh, bottoms up.
Do me a Constitution saving throw without advantage.
Ooh, favoritism.
Yep.
Dun, dun.
Hold on, what's my Constitution saving throw? Ooh, what's my Constitution?
-10.
No, it's a 17.
Yeah, you don't end up passing out or vomiting or anything like that. You manage to bear this drink, and yeah, kind of a strange itching behind the eyeballs there. It's an interesting experience. Whilst that's happening, you do see that Cora is in conversation with the dwarf that she's still in his lap, and the dwarf turns around and says, "You, my girl, have drunken from the battle tankard of Brennan the Black. I have managed to kill 30 men with this tankard." And he points that at the bottom of the tankard, this isn't like a pewter tankard, this is made of steel, and you can tell that the bottom of the tankard has a meteorite. So it's basically had a steel tankard welded on top of a meteorite. And you do notice that scratched into the side of the tankard is a tally of men that he's beaten to death with the tankard alone.
Oh my god.
Please
tell
you
me
can
this.
take her each other.
I'm holding the tankard, right?
Yeah.
Whacking with it.
No, I'm gonna be like, oh right, well let's see how good you are without the tankard, and I just fling it over my shoulder and I punch him in the face.
Oh dear. For starting a tavern brawl.
Okay.
It's gonna
Okay.
be fun.
Simon, while this is happening, I also want to take the shot I was given because I haven't been able to drink that yet.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize. I didn't realize you would get one too. Do me a Constitution saving throw, no advantage.
That's a 10.
Okay, so you are poisoned, and you currently, when you are trying to walk, I get to apply a random modifier on both your speed and direction.
I will stumble my way over to Ivan and probably collapse.
I also
I
apply
love
a
him.
Running at him.
yeah. I also apply a scatter dice on anything that you throw.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm gonna go around this, probably collapse on him and probably.
Sure.
Okay.
Lovely.
Aiden suddenly has a cat on top of him, asleep, purring.
Yes. This drunk cat.
Protect her honor.
Cora, I would
something-
like you to give me a melee attack on Brennan the Black.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where she nat 20s again.
Oh, that will be terrible.
I'm assuming
But also
not an
great.
advantage on this one, right?
Oh, actually, yes.
That was a 1, so let me roll again.
Yeah. You do have advantage on this one attack.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Oh! Okay. It's not as good. So... Melee is just your strength, isn't it? Which is nothing. So 13.
And your proficiency as well, because everyone is proficient in unarmed attacks.
Oh, then 16.
16, sure. He's not wearing his full armor, so you've hit. Roll, well, it's 1 plus your strength modifier plus your d8.
One.
Okay.
So 2 damage.
Yeah.
You punch him as hard
I
as you
hurt
can.
myself more.
Yeah. You punch yourself as hard as you can, and you kind of bop him on the nose, and it's like he's just been hit on the nose by a 2-year-old.
You hear a squeak
Yeah.
sound.
I'm like in his lap, aren't I? So it's
Cartoon
like the worst. I'm so, yeah, brilliant.
He stands you on the table, musses your hair, and says, "Do it again! Do it again!"
I
wanna
swing
cast
again.
I want to cast something on Cora if I can. If I notice this.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh no.
Hold on, I just want to check something. Yeah. Where's it gone? I'm gonna cast. Where's it gone? Yeah, I'm gonna cast Bless. I'm gonna cast it on me, Cora, Glory, and I think that's it. I think I only go to 3 people.
Yeah, on a
Yeah.
level 1 spell slot. Yeah.
Level 1, yeah. So you now can add a d4 to all of your attack rolls and saving throws.
Okay.
But I am watching this fight as well as it goes on.
Sure. Okay. Eclipse, you do notice that across the room there is a striped tabaxi that has caught your eye, but she has watched you kind of collapse onto Iden, so is kind of looking at you from a distance and is currently dancing. One of the few people in this room that's genuinely dancing with what seems to be an Eladrin. Cora.
I will go and be like, friend, and I will get off Iden, and he's probably very happy
thank
that I got off
Christ.
him. And make my way over to the Batsy, still very drunk, I assume.
The tabaxi looks at you with, you don't know if it's judgment or pity, and carries on dancing. Kate, swing again.
Very well.
I'm getting weaker. That's a 7.
That's 7.
Wait, with
Remember-
proficiency, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh,
And
yeah.
you add a d4, add a d4.
7, 8, 9,
Guidance.
11, 12.
Okay, at a 12, he sees
That,
you're
that
about
wasn't at advantage, right? That one.
to... Oh yeah, advantage, yeah.
That wasn't. Was.
Yeah, you get advantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
so
asking you to
14,
get
15,
him,
16, 17, 18, 19 then.
Yeah, that definitely hits. So this time it is just 1 plus your strength modifier. So I'm guessing it's 1.
Yeah.
Yep. You go up and you manage to do another kind of thing. You hit him in the lip this time, and you kind of smash one of his lips against one of his teeth. And he has the tiniest, teeniest little, bloodied lip. And, he's loving this. He bellows out in laughter, grabs hold of your hand, holds it up in like a champion gesture, and goes, "I like the spirit on this one!" You have noticed that somebody has grabbed hold of his tankard, brought it back to him, and put it on his belt for him.
Right. I'm like, nah, this isn't. I don't punch, and
Agonizing blast him.
I firebolt him.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Okay.
You're so close that you can't really miss. Casting spells into melee, be damned. This is more flavor than it is anything else. And you fire it at
Yeah.
the only thing that seems flammable and accessible, which is his luxurious, long, curly black beard. And you basically just shove your hand in and go, firebolt. And set his beard alight.
So
You
what I
shouldn't have
do-
done that.
So what I do is, now that I see this happening, I go, okay. Bottle of wine in hand, I go over there and I basically just drag Cora away from him.
As his beard sets alight, and he sees that you're reaching out for her, he turns around and I guess this is an attack, so he gets a 16 to try to push you away.
Misses.
Yep, so you weave out the way and he goes, hey, go find your own friends.
I just go, I just go, look, I know you guys are having fun, but I don't want anyone to get hurt. More
Fire is creeping
than-
up his beard as you speak.
Yeah, I look at his beard, like his fucking flaming beard, and I go, I don't want anyone to get hurt, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna just take her away, and I'm gonna find farewell.
He puts himself between you and Cora, picks up a dark black stout that's half drunk, and just pours it down his beard. He goes, there you go, no harm done. So, tell me something about yourself, little one. You got the fight in you.
I actually am not really paying attention. I'm looking around the room at anyone else who is bar brawling, and I want to just rugby tackle into them.
Sure. Give me a charge attack. So that's again like an athletics attack, as you're going to do this tiny little rugby tackle, and you've picked out she's basically just wearing a breastband and leather shorts. You have a feeling that she's some sort of monk, and she's a tall half-orc. As I say, what you suspect is a monk. She's currently beating 10 bells out of a Goliath. And the Goliath is grinning all over his face, and he's like, yeah, again, yeah, kind of thing. And he's trying to get a hit on her, but she's weaving around, and you're there thinking, you know what? I can take her.
I'm just like, yeah, I like Cora's going just a bit nuts and just sort of like looking at everyone fighting. She's just like, yeah! Even like, it never done really melee before at all, but she's just
Sure.
like, her tiny stature is just gonna run over to this huge
This-
orc.
This
and
does
just
require
barrel
you to
into their
master
leg, probably
direction.
not do anything. What?
So I'm going to say disadvantage this time.
Anybody feel like we've just gone into crazy hour? Just
Oh, we passed that point.
So 3? Oh wait, 3 plus 3, so 6.
6. Okay. Can you do me a favor and just make me a straight charisma check?
Uh, 14.
Okay, good to know. So you charge, and even though this monk doesn't see you, the fancy footwork that she's doing means it's really hard to find those knees. You're like it's like playing whack-a-mole but with knees, and the knees are just moving way too fast. So you throw yourself at it, and you find yourself leaping past the half-orc monk and right into the Goliath barbarian. And you end up kind of finding yourself hurtling towards his left knee.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Well, what do you mean? So I've missed one, but I'm hurtling towards the other?
Yep.
I'm just gonna keep plowing. I'm just trying to get into a brawl with someone.
Sure.
Anyone. Everyone.
You rugby tackle his knee, but you realise this guy is so big that all you can really do is hold on to his knee as he's running around. So you're kind of like, whoa, as you're going around.
Okay. So am I? Is there what's happening in the bar? There are a whole bunch of people kind of fighting out in sort of like the middle area
they're
or something.
fighting, drinking, singing, talking loudly, boasting about their battles they've been in, their various exploits. You're pretty sure that the two in the corner are fucking.
But is there an area where a lot of people are fighting, or a bunch of people are fighting?
Pretty much
like
the middle of the room.
Area?
It's kind of like dancing, and then they bump into somebody, and then they have a quick fight, and then they go back to maybe dancing a bit more. It's very kind of chaotic and changing all the time. It's too strong of people. However, we are a minute to 11, so I'd like you to make a perception check with advantage.
Oh. Okay. All my good rolls have gone for the night.
Well, you did get like 2 nat 20s.
No, I know. I just got a 6 and a 9. So perception check. 14.
14.
No,
okay.
wait. Perception. No. 12.
12. Okay.
I always look at persuasion instead. Wait, this with advantage, yeah. So the 9 and the 3.
The world seems to slow down as you are looking at this seething throng. Light seems to be coming from somewhere, but you're not sure where. As you can see this delightful chaos, this adrenaline. Just, you've never felt so alive. You've never felt like this way before, in fact. It's just so different, and it's woken something very strange inside of you. Something which some of your compatriots may be noticing. But right now, as you hang on to the left knee of a giant Goliath, looking at the rest of the fights, trying to find something a little more your caliber, the crowd parts just for a second. A split second. And with this strange light, you first see a momentary glimpse of ebony skin, but then it's gone. And then for a second, you're not 100% as to whether you imagined it or if they were there, but it felt real. You see the face of Enola.
I don't know what I'm thinking of doing. I'm not sure if that works now. Oh,
Well,
it does.
You have until next session to figure out what to do.
Well, I don't know. If it depends if you want a punctuation, because what I was probably about to do anyway, and I think actually, if I think I see Enola, then I'm gonna do the body of rage thing and leap to that spot.
Okay.
So I'm gonna burst into fire.
Oh my god.
Of course.
And fly to the place I thought I saw her, or up in the rafters or something, like looking down. Or maybe I'll go to that spot and then I do it because she's not there. But that's gonna happen.
Sure. Okay. So you call upon all of the adrenaline, all of the rage that is around you. You soak it up. This is kind of fun rage, which I didn't really understand until I started watching Critical Role, but now I understand. And you kind of use it as a battery source. You let go of the kneecap of the Goliath, bounce to your feet on the floor, and then leap. And as you do so, your body just completely transforms into elemental fire. You jump through the air like a mephit, and you're going to drop on the spot where you think you saw Enola. I would like you to roll an initiative check, and I'll do the same.
No. Don't like this.
Damn! I used up all my luck. Initiative check? Do you mean just initiative?
Yeah,
What do you
initiative.
mean?
Does she have the blessed D4 to that?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been forgetting the D4.
I'll allow it. In this case, I'll allow it. It's yeah.
I'm not sure how much it's going to help me. 4,
Yeah, well, it could add another 4.
9. 9.
A total of 9. So you jump, and everybody kind of does the whole ooh of fireworks as you jump in the air, turning into this elemental flame and screaming leap through the sky. Well, I say the sky, ceiling. Thankfully, it's quite a high ceiling. You land on the spot where you thought you saw her, and you see nothing there, but you swear as you landed, you saw this wisp of red gold silk. But then it's gone, and nobody is wearing anything like that clothing.
Ooh, I can't wait until next session because there's so many things for us to do.
Yeah,
and scolding.
The rest of you have got an
So
intervention to do.
much scolding.
So, yes, I'm throwing this at Kate, but this is something for you all to deal with because poor Cora is jumping way out of her depth.
Yep.
I'm trying to decide what she's doing. I think she's just standing there in a ball of fire right now, actually.
As we leave the session, you've just landed. So you can decide what she's doing, how she's reacting over next week. And we'll start with that next session. And everybody's reaction to watching you go fucking Phoenix throughout the air. So,
Oh my god.
thank you everybody for...
I need to decide if I am drunk enough to not sober enough to notice it, because I'm trying to get Farrell's attention to get me not drunk.
I'm going to say that everybody has stopped and looked at it, so everybody can say that they've seen it. So don't worry about it on that sense of things. But we will talk about that next time.
Not drunk so she can get laid.
Maybe.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Other cat. More cats.
So thank you everybody who's watching. Thank you Rattle. Thank you Silent Adel, and can't wait to be playing with you in the guild, mate. We've got Valdrinth and a Geeky Tea Party. We haven't seen you before. Angel of Light, Bloodlust, Damaris Samia. I really shouldn't be reading out people's names. But yes, Samtastic. The rest of you guys, thank you very much for joining us. And we will pick this up again next Friday, 8 p.m. That's UK time or UTC. And take care of yourselves.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.